Welcome back to my The Ace Attorney Chronicles playthrough. It's gonna be good. This is episode 26, I think, or 24. I don't know. An episode after all, but you know, it's like we are at the end of the third trial. I think it's the end, you know, like of this third case, and I think it's gonna go ham because like we're finally delving into like the professor's identity and shit. You know, I know we're gonna get into that. You know, I predicted already that. Like Odie Asman is the professor. You know, he never actually died because the coroner for the case was Courtney Scythe, right? And Courtney Scythe, is like colludes with Drebber, and she had they did the murder, but like she like took the because of the scientific forensics whatever the fuck thing they had, like they switched up, boom, instantly. Like she was allowed, like, you know, on her own to switch up the bodies that you know, to make it look like it actually happened, etc., with the waxwork thing, because it worked because the waxwork is literally because they're the same person. You know, the professor, waxwork that got stolen, and Odie Esmond, they're the same person. And like, you know, the thing where he found him alive yet again, you know, like Drebber. Well, it's not actually because he found him alive. He just like was complicit, or maybe he actually found him and then, like, you know, he let it be like just a myth, right? Because that's what it ended up being, for other people at least. And yeah, and then, you know, he ended up, like, you know, working together with him because money. And yeah, because he probably pays well. Because he's the big mafia of the underworld. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, let's see if my theory of the professor being the exact same as, which I had for a long time, okay, mind you. But yeah, let's see if it's correct. Alright. I'm probably right because I was right about the body double being the waxwork thing, which was admittedly was kind of obvious, but still, yeah, it's not about me. Okay, I got something stuck in my teeth. Okay, 24th of October, 11:53 a.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. Sorry, by the way, if you hear the voices of the dam on the stream, because I have family at home, so like if you're screaming, my bad, you know. Yeah, the Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. The Knight Errant. The Knight Errant himself. Oh, you have been watching from the gallery, Mr. Sholmes. I've been on the edge of my seat the entire time. Courtroom trials are fascinating affairs, as a spectator at least. I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself. Yeah, that you're gonna come more often, I hope. As you know, it seems it's a very good show. I have to ask. What on earth is going on? It makes no sense. What's this professor business all about? He doesn't look like any professor I've ever met before. Who even is he? Of course. You were in Germany already, 10 years ago. Yes, the professor. When I discovered he was the one who had been abducted, a sense of foreboding stirred within me. But who knew the monster would come knocking at your door? My heart felt sympathies. Okay. As it turns out, Lord Van Zix is even more intimately tied to this case than any of us realize, isn't he? Yes, how true. His great friend from university in the dock. And now, a waxwork of the killer who took his esteemed brother's life makes an appearance too. Imagine even the shrewd Mr. Reaper failed to foresee that kick in the teeth. An extraordinary move on your part, my dear fellow, to throw that in front of the man. Make it sound deliberate. I can't help feeling that this professor case is really very puzzling. Oh yeah? In what particular manner? Well, there's Mr. Drebber, Dr. Scythe, and Lord Van Zix. It seems that everybody in the trial has a link to the case somehow. Yes, in fact, I alone I'm not a member of the set. Though that leaves me as an empty set, all alone with two intersection to any other. Excuse me. Ooh. Yeah, I just accused you of murder. Right. Okay. Dr. Scythe! Dr. Courtney Scythe. Nay, Stevens. Good day to you. Hello, Sholmes. That was very shrewd of you. What in particular, pray? You requested that 10-year-old autopsy report from Gregson, didn't you? Why would you assume such a thing? Ah, it's true! It's true! No. He knew all along. He were just a piece in his fucking set. This guy. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Okay, maybe that's gonna lead to ultimately, you know, like resolving the case with Dr. John H. Wilson, which was his partner, which is like associated to why he got to die. You know, maybe that's that. You know, he's actually has a revenge arc that was hidden all along. Anyway, because Gregson told me. To think it's been 10 years. 10 years in the laboratory, wielding my scalpel. Smell of nothing but corpses and disinfectant. Policemen on the jury had a lot to say about you as it happens, Victor Scythe. And I've accused you of being complicit in what happened. I'm hoping that you will take the stand and tell the truth about what really happened. That certainly won't be possible. Huh? Hood Van Zieks won't be summoning me as a witness. Your strong heart has forbidden it. Your strong heart, yeah, I knew we would ruffle these feathers, you know. The Pandora's box you were warned about is the Professor case. But please don't make this mistake of thinking you'll get any information about it out of me. You're attempting to hide it from the truth. That's cowardice! True. I've always fought crime in the way that I see fit. I have no regrets, none at all. And that's all I came here to say. Yeah, I know you had a good reason, though. Probably. So, good day to you. You mentioned it too, this Pandora's box. Whatever does it all mean? There's really no cause for concern. I assure you, when the trial resumes, the meaning will become all too apparent, whether you'd like it to or not. Huh? Now then, I believe it's almost time. I must make my way back to the public gallery. The edge of my seat awaits! I think maybe you're enjoying yourself a little too much. I mean, he's getting the truth, he's being like wanting to unfolded before him. Obviously he's gonna be like fucking like, wow, you know? Ah yes, one word of warning before I go. If in the course of the trial this afternoon you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, you don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. Alright, understand. Thank you. Good, I shall make myself scarce then. Purchased a bar of caramel earlier, so I shall be gnawing on that as you gnaw away the truth. Okay. What did that warning from Mr. Sholmes really mean, I wonder? It means... We'll see what it means. Especially the bit about whatever may come to pass. You're gonna be in big trouble, buddy. Maybe this is gonna be Lord Strongheart to the stand himself, you know. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. It's time for the final chapter then. I'm determined to find... Wait. Determined to find the truth. No matter what. I will do some based. Okay. 24th of October, 12:40 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Yeah, it's still here. Is Kazuma gonna show his face then, though? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. This counsels for the defense and prosecution. Are you ready and able to continue? Prosecution is ready, my lord. Yes, my lord. The defense is also ready. As the courtroom is aware, the case under scrutiny began with a damaging incident at the Great Exhibition. Yet we now find ourselves embroiled in the details of a convicted felon who was sent to the gallows a decade ago. This trial has certainly defied all expectations. As seems to be the fate of all trials in which the Nipponese is involved, my lord. So then, let us begin our exploration of the defense's assertion that the waxworkers cardinally involved in this matter. Lord Van Zieks? My lord? Are we still awaiting the arrival of Madame Tuspels? Not at all. She is in the antechamber as we speak and ready to be summoned. Very good. I forgot that it was her that we were gonna, like, witness, you know, interrogate. Ah, finally. My god. I had something in my teeth for like 15 minutes. I was trying to get it out, like, on my own, but Okay, finally it's on. Free at last. Okay, sorry. Very well, bring in the witness. At once, my lord. Bailiff! No. Bailiff! Show Madame Tuspels to the stand. Okay. Things are about to become a lot more intense. The jobber responsible, as I'm sure he is, means he must have had an accomplice in Dr. Scythe. And what connects the pair of them? Is the waxwork? Yes, the mother of the professor. That's the key to the link between these otherwise unrated individuals. Yeah, key is the key word here. She's gonna have the key. Wait. Okay, sorry. It's tenuous, admittedly, but at present it's all we have to go on. Oh! Oh, she's making an actual Sholmes. Oh, okay, cool. State your name and occupation to the court. Please. Wait, hold on. Let me just... Hold on, give me a second. Yeah... True. Okay, just trying to get someone to come. Okay. State your name and occupation for the court, please.
My name is Madame Esmeralda Tuspels. I am a waxwork artisan, and the proprietress of the Madame Tuspels Museums of Waxwork. You will have to pardon me for working as I testify. My new exhibit must open very soon.
Yeah, and it's Sholmes. Did she like fucking melt him? So did she actually like put the mold like wax on him, or so he finally gets a statue, does he? Now there are two of them in the world.
Oh my! What expression is she carving onto that face?
A number of days ago, a particular waxwork model was stolen from your museum. Can you confirm this?
Oui, it is true.
With a sneaky one eye.
At first we believed it had been kidnapped.
A waxwork model? Kidnapped?
Yes, my lord. There was demand for ransom money left behind the culprit. However, according to what I have just told outside the courtroom, that was not the true reason. I understand it was utilized as a substitute for the body of the murder victim?
At present, there is no more than conjecture proposed by the defense. This is the victim of the case in question, Mr. Odie Asman.
Of course, I know him well. He is a part of my odious personages exhibit. I detest to say what is evident, but Mr. Asman does not resemble the
No! My theory, it's crumbling to dust. No! I am defeated. I'm horrified. I'm so sad. What's the? Oh, okay. No. Tuspels, I like you a lot, but you just destroyed my dream, man. You just destroyed my dreams, man. Okay, well, okay, whatever, man. We'll see what happens. Yes, but perhaps their faces are very similar. Oh. Ooh, okay. The hope is not all lost yet.
Are you suggesting that we should see now the demasked visage of the professor?
And she has the key!
You have here the key, but it is strictly forbidden to open the lock.
This is absurd!
Pardon?
I don't know what face you've carved into your fancy figure beneath that mask. Yes, personal, but clearly it won't be that of the actual killer. Indeed. The man's identity was never made public after all. The trial took place in a closed court. The proceedings were strictly confidential. The condemned man was summarily executed. His identity remains a closely guarded national secret. But why? There is no possible way that a repository of tawdry exhibits could get its hand on that information. Tawdry?
Quel dommage. It would seem you are unaware of the Tuspels principles.
Ooh, yeah, don't fuck with my name, bro. Don't put some respect on my name. That's what she said. What principles?
The family Tuspels has always prided itself on sculpting its models à la perfection. Every detail, including the visage, is fashioned with complete fidelity. Et voilà, our principles. There is a well-known legend about the Tuspels waxworks from the time of the French Revolution. A member of the Tuspels family is said to have made a waxwork of the queen who was executed. Oui, that is true. It was a century ago now. I believe the queen's face was carved in the minutes following her death, actually at the guillotine site. You are correct. The model is on display still today in the House of Horrors. We Tuspels will stop at nothing to obtain a faithful replica of our subjects.
Dear me, a somewhat disturbing tenacity of purpose.
It is the only way to obtain a truly lifelike representation of the subject. And it has been my family's secret for generations.
Do you mean to say that beneath that mask?
Oui, the true visage of the killer is there.
This is ludicrous. It's out of the question!
Professor spread terror throughout Great Britain. As a result, the Madame Tuspels special exhibit remains extremely popular even today. The killer emerging from his own grave. It is a sight to behold. You should come.
Yeah, let's see.
I think, madam, it would be beneficial to hear your formal testimony on this matter. You will explain every detail of this macabre model and your personal involvement in its creation.
With pleasure.
Okay. Professor's waxwork.
The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked society in London. An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse in accordance with Tuspel's family principles. I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment. I hid myself until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time that night. As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered.
Ooh, I mean, I want this to be true though.
The gravedigger, the man sanctioned this.
Oui, I will do all that is necessary to achieve the true resemblance my family is celebrated for. Nobody else knew, only the gravedigger. What harm did he do? Huh?
So you truly saw it. The face of that monster! Okay, he wants to know now.
Naturally, I was aware at the time that his identity was a secret. But Tuspels would not be Tuspels if we did not insist on absolute fidelity to our sculptures.
I don't believe this.
I myself have seen the special exhibit at your museum, madam. A truly blood-curdling scene, in which the murderer is emerging from his own grave.
The scene it depicts was the subject of many rumors in London 10 years ago. I have here a newspaper from the time. The special exhibit was based upon the picture in this article. It was the most detailed account of what happened as reported by the eyewitness who saw it.
Interesting. Man rises from the grave. It's too absurd for words.
The public enjoy absurdity, monsieur. That is why I have reproduced the scene as carefully as possible in my museum.
Yes, a waxwork from that exhibit that was stolen some days before the incident at the Great Exhibition, wasn't it?
It is correct. The professor you see before you here.
The most puzzling. Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination.
This waxwork links Jabber to Dr. Scythe. And there has to be some reason for that, which hasn't yet come to light. But I'll find it. I'll get to the bottom of what really happened. Prove that Dr. Scythe and Dr. Jabber were in on this crime together.
Yes. Let's. A special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked society in London. An impression of the visage was taken directly.
Okay, yeah, right. Never mind. I mean, press you on every statement. I don't know why I should, prove you wrong when, you being correct, will help me.
And that rumor would be a 10-year-old tale now, but one that no Londoner would ever forget.
Right, I know just what you're talking about, I think.
Of course, it couldn't be anything else. Yes, that story will never... Wait. The story will never disappear. The tale of the condemned killer, rising from the dead, is the central attraction of my house of horrors. The rumors was whispered all over the city, and it was like this. It was in Lowgate Cemetery, behind the prison, in the dead of night, after the execution of the killer. The interred professor slid back the stone slab, covering his tomb, and emerged from his grave. A young man who witnessed this felt a scream welling up inside him, but an instant later, he heard an ear-splitting gunshot from over his shoulder. The bullet struck the emerging corpse, and he fell motionless once more. The scream finally found its way from the mouth of the young witness, who turned and ran for his life.
The corpse climbed out of his own grave? We know this.
And then somebody shot him? Who was it? Nobody knows, even today. But remember, it was just a rumor. Perhaps nothing more than a ghost story. The good people of London, they love stories like this. That is why it was in every newspaper across the capital.
But was it just a story? Yeah. I mean, this is exactly the scene that can be seen today at your museum, isn't it?
Oui, the special exhibit was modeled on that very illustration.
For a while afterwards, the contents of that article were reproduced in every newspaper imaginable. Bah.
Madame, might I say something? Please go ahead, mademoiselle. When something is described as a rumor, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's entirely made up. I believe that often, rumors contain elements of the truth. I see that people from the East can be just as astute as the people of Europe. Can you be sure, for instance, that the professor's execution was successful?
Ooh, good question. It is not possible for the dead to come back to life. Sorry? 10 years ago, I was there in Lowgate Cemetery. After the criminal known as the Professor was killed by hanging, I took a wax impression of his visage from the corpse just before it was interred. So I can assure you, the man was dead. I see.
Would certainly appear that the condemned man suffered the intended fate.
If it's not conjecture, that is. Okay, that was a nice exposition. It's taken directly from... Did we get anything to add, though? Yeah, I think we got this. No, we didn't. Never mind. Wait! The illustrator is Asman! What? Wait. No, that's Drebber. This is Asman. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Express. Maybe the gravedigger is Asman himself. Or maybe not. I don't know. Is that true of every waxwork in your museum then?
It is. Assuming the subject is dead, of course. Live subjects have to cooperate in a similar way. I have letters from imprisoned criminals all the time, you know.
What sort of letters?
When my time comes, please make a waxwork of me. Comme ça.
No!
My museum is famous, monsieur. To be made into a waxwork is an honor. For some criminals, a symbol of status, even.
Because nothing says hardened criminal better than wax.
And it is thanks to one killer in particular that my museum has gained such popularity in London. I refer to the star of the special exhibit, of course, the Professor.
Whose form you claim to have captured by taking an impression from the actual corpse.
There are no exceptions to the principles of toss spells.
Okay.
I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment.
Interment. I feel like this is like she says that word because maybe because it's a correct word in English, but also because it's very similar to the French word enterrement, you know, which is like, you know, digging the grave and like, you know,
Actually, is there a word for it?
like, you know, the lowering the grave, like the whole thing, you know, like the funeral, yeah, the funeral, like yeah, I don't know, like enterrement is the word for funeral in French, and maybe she's doing this one because it's very close but also valid, like, you know, as an Anglicism, yeah, no, or like a Francisism, I don't know. Because in French, like when people use like English words while speaking French, we call it an Anglicism because, like, I don't know, it's like c'était super awesome, you know, like nobody does that one, but you know, yeah. Anyway, enlisted the aid of the grave digger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment. Hold it! Surely that's illegal, isn't it? It would seem the proprietors of this repository of novelties was blinded by monetary greed. It had nothing to do with money. The man is part of London's criminal history. That is why I had to sculpt them, to record this history. It is the raison d'être of the Tuspels Museum. But if the man was convicted in a closed court and sent for immediate execution, then surely nobody but the members of the judiciary present know the killer's true identity. I assure you, behind that mask is hidden the true face of the professor. You realize what you're saying? The professor's identity is a national secret! I understand. And now that the truth is about the special exhibit has been revealed, it must perhaps close. Of course it will, as will your entire museum if you don't tread very carefully, madam. It could be another interesting chapter in the history of my family, I think, don't you? So 10 years ago, on the night of the professor's execution, you took a wax impression of his face from the corpse. Oui, exactement. I hid myself until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time that night. Hold it! Did you see anything during that night? You were there longer than you expected to be? I had some difficulties in capturing the subject's form correctly. As I removed the mask, the mouth of the cadaver fell open, and I had some problems with the chin. The chin. Dare I ask? The man had been dead for a short while already, you see. His muscles were relaxing and consequently his chin would not align itself correctly. Oh dear, what a horrible thought. Under normal circumstances, I would have an assistant with me. However, that night I was alone, and as a consequence, I missed my preferred window of time. What do you mean? When I take the impression of the visage of a cadaver, I always wait until 3 hours after the death. Why 3 hours? Is that amount of time significant? It is because of rigor mortis. Rigor mortis? Yeah, no, right, we know. It's a name given to a phenomenon that occurs in recently deceased bodies. As a rule, 3 hours post-death, the muscles in the bodies begin to stiffen. By approximately 10 hours post-death, the entire body is completely rigid and flexible. And then from that point on, the muscles slowly start to revert to their relaxed state. The effect is often used to estimate the time of death when a body is discovered. Interesting. Well, that was an education. A slightly scary one. As the mademoiselle says, rigor mortis commences 3 hours after death, and it starts in the jaw. I see. So that's why you wait. Before that time, the mouth falls open, and it is very difficult to do my work. Ugh, it's getting hard for me to do my work with all this talk of corpses. I wonder about that information the course just heard from Madame Tuspels. Yeah, of course it is significant, buddy. It's always significant. The information about the rigor mortis that you just shared with us. Would you mind including it in your formal testimony? I believe it could be significant, you see. Of course. I don't mind at all. I can't help feeling that after this latest topic, the atmosphere in the courtroom has become extremely grave. This is no time for jokes, Miss Susato. Yeah.
Madame Conley, amend your testimony as discussed.
Yes, sir. I like doing her voices. Like it's the easiest voice to do. It's like, I don't know, it's like a pleasure to do her voice, you know, because it's soft. I can do the female voice, kind of, you know, and also the French accent, you know. I don't know. It took me a very long time because it was before the onset of rigor mortis. What does that tell me? What does that tell me, though? I wonder, though, like, if we can ask her about something from this. He's smiling, isn't he? Like this. It looks like he has bolts. Maybe that's like the technique, you know, of wax, right? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking maybe she started the process and then, you know, she left. And, you know, she left with the thing on because someone was coming. Drebber was coming because he had business. And then he woke up from the tomb. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe it was actually, but, you know, but then, you know, he saw this, but with actual, like, the shit she uses, the wax shit she uses for, you know, making the prints. That's why he has this, like, Motorhead skull guy looking thing, like Bad to the Bone face. So yeah, and that's maybe why it has in the exhibit, it has the thing itself, the head cage. Because it's for that purpose. Of course. And she recorded the real face, and at the same time, it's what actually happened. Oh, with exact fidelity! It's not closed in a cage for no reason. Oh, yes. Okay, that's probably it. Mark my words, buddy. Okay. Yeah, let me press that. Again. I want to get a lot of information because it's interesting. Rigor mortis being the phenomenon you described whereby the corpse becomes stiff after death. I think you said that it starts as the jaw about 3 hours post-death. Is that right?
Oui, c'est ça. Of course, the exact duration depends a little on the reason.
I didn't realize that waxwork artisan would be so well versed in the subject.
No. It is only elementary knowledge in the field of legal medicine.
I had no idea about it. Maybe I won't admit to my ignorance about forensic science.
I could ask my father to give you a very simple primer if you like.
I think corpses should be your domain. Not good with them.
Oh dear, I'll do my very best.
Okay.
As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered.
Okay. You said that dawn was approaching. What was the time of the day then, approximately?
Well, I could not say.
Maybe Sholmes actually put the face gauge on, you know, to do this. And he, you know, maybe held his breath, you know, while doing it, you know. I don't know. And this, like, he's gonna come in and say, yeah, I was inside this box myself, buddy. You know? Something like that.
So, but when I left the cemetery with my utensils and wax, the morning light was becoming visible.
The execution took place on the 19th of June, which had the earliest sunrise of the year. It did. First light would have been around 4 in the morning. It really is early.
The fact is, I have very little time, so I finished my work in a half hour. It was necessary to complete the impression and bury the body before daybreak, of course. If somebody had discovered me there, it would have been a catastrophe, so I had to hurry.
Is it me, or does Mr. Sholmes seem to be taking shape more quickly now too?
You certainly appear to go to extraordinary lengths for your work, madam.
I wonder. Is what you said particularly significant? Yeah, it's significant. But those details about how long it took you to complete the sculpture and the earlier sunrise, could you include them in your testimony? I believe they may be significant.
Of course,
if you would like me to. You're quite right, Mr. Naruto. It is intriguing. At sunrise at 4 in the morning. Would be absolutely unimaginable at home, wouldn't it? That's not quite what I meant by significant.
Can you amend your formal testimony then, madam?
With pleasure, my lord.
To finish my work in the half hour before sunrise, as soon as the corpse was interred. Which is 3 hours. No. Yeah, I said about my family. yeah, I don't know. And he's just popped up out of nowhere. Opened my door like gangster sound, no knocking. Like, anyway. I had to finish my work in the half hour before sunrise, and then But I think there's a time discrepancy though. Let me check something. 17th of June. Okay, nothing else. Returns in the dead of night. Great stink. Parliament finally addressed the foul issue. Parliament had long last resolved to relieve the citizens of the horrendous stench that carries on the slightest breeze and lingers in the nostrils of every man, woman, and child. A great sewer system is to be built. Okay. Charles Darwin to receive Copley Medal. Okay, Mad Sheep Rampage. Grave Order. Free. Wait, let me read. At Lowgate Cemetery, just behind the prison, on the night of that fell demon's execution, the newly interred Professor forced off his grave cover. As he died free of the earth, the young man who witnessed the scene was on the verge of raising a shriek when, in the second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more. The youth then released the scream he had been holding and ran for his knife. I think, you know what I'm thinking? I think she was the one who like deterred him, like, you know, she removed him from the grave. She was doing the thing, but then someone came and she left, but she left him in that position, right? Which, like, you know, she had to leave. And then when the guy came in, he just like was still, he wasn't actually moving out. And the guy like got scared. And then a guy shot him from behind, you know, like shot the guy because he also thought he was coming back to life. And then he scrambled and ran away. And then she finished her job and put him back inside the coffin. You know what I'm saying? Something of the sort. Either it's Dr. Scythe or Asman that killed the corpse. He shot at the corpse. You know? Okay. What do we have? Can't we open it though? Like, we have the key now. What can we do with this? I heard to finish my work in half an hour before sunrise. I don't know what to make of this. Because we don't have evidence that tells us about this. The time of death thing. Yeah, this is unrelated. It had blood on it too. I'm just so confused. Ah, at midnight! Never mind! Death by hanging confirmed at midnight. I didn't read it because it was a number, so I didn't actually read it. The half hour before sunrise. Corpse was interred. Was it though? Because it says here let's finish at midnight. Can I present this?
Objection!
Oh shit! Actually, yeah. Madame Tespels. I have here an autopsy report that was filed 10 years ago now. Oh. Confirms the death of the professor following his execution at the gallows.
And is that a problem?
I believe it is. It is, because your testimony had a particular detail, in the report. Completely contradict one another.
Quoi?
Are you going to explain yourself, my Nipponese friend? According to her testimony, Madame Tespels was creating her wax impression just before dawn. And at the time, rigor mortis had not yet set in. Am I correct so far, madam?
You are... yes. As I said, the stiffening of the jaw is the first sign of rigor mortis, 2 to 3 hours after death. The man's chin was limp, so he cannot have been dead for a long time.
But on the other hand, if you look at Dr. Scythe's report, it clearly states the following. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th of June. No! The professor indeed died at midnight that day, but by the time you were sculpting his face, rigor mortis would have already set in.
Oui, yes, you are right. The chin, it would have been completely stiff.
In other words, this report is wrong.
Objection!
Or she could be wrong. The coroner makes mistakes when recording the time of death. The very idea is absurd! In that case, there's only one possible conclusion. The execution didn't actually take place at the stated time. Impossible!
Order! Order! Counsel, this is beyond folly. Not only do you indict the author of the report, Dr. Scythe, but you also implicate members of the staff at Barclay Prison where the execution took place.
By heck! Extraordinary!
And my day!
Okay. This is it. My learned friend appears to have overlooked one, a very crucial fact. Yeah, she could also have been wrong. What fact? The professor died that night. Without question!
He did, of course he did. I moved the man's limp jaw with my own hands. There was no...
Yes, the professor died that night. But what if he didn't die at the gallows? Didn't die at the...
Are you insane? What exactly are you suggesting did happen in that case?
Ooh, I think he was still alive on purpose, and then he was put in his grave to leave, and then he got shot by someone that knew, someone that had a knowledge of that. And then Tespels came in and did her shit, you know? It's almost impossible to believe, but it would explain the link between Dr. Scythe, the professor, and that one other person of interest. Of evidence that will explain exactly what I'm suggesting happened that night.
Counsel, present evidence at once. The evidence that allegedly explains what really happened on the night of the professor's execution.
What really happened? Is that gonna be the evidence? Wait. I have an idea. You know the Aspen and Drebber, they like, you know the terms. They left him alive because if he wasn't alive, you know, like he couldn't uphold his right condition of both, you know, the parties that needed to be alive, you know, that thing, you know. Maybe that's it. Let's present that. Okay, let me save. Then I'm very probably wrong, but maybe it's gonna come up later on, you know. But I think maybe that's like something, but like I'm probably wrong because maybe it's too early to present this. Present.
Take that!
It's not. Yeah, there we go.
Objection!
Objection? They should consider would strongly advise that you shut the fuck up. Oh, right, very well. Shut the fuck up. -1 life. Pinch it to the leg.
Great, I'm looking forward to trying again now. Okay. I won't let anyone execute you, Mr. Naruto, not tonight. Okay.
Go to...
Yeah. Yeah.
Take that!
Yeah. What happened that night is written very plainly in this newspaper's article. Executed criminal returns in the dead of night at local cemetery. You're suggesting it was a corpse coming back from the dead now? Well, if this article is to be believed, yes. Professor, assumed dead following his execution, emerged from his grave and was killed again.
Objection!
Don't be a fool. That's simply a rumor published by the Gutter Press. Can you be certain of that? You're serious? The point is, as the article says, there was a witness to what happened.
My word, yes indeed.
Mais oui, the young man who stole into the cemetery by chance that night.
Objection!
Of course there was a witness. The story didn't write itself. But obviously... No, wait, I'm giving him a French. But obviously the man made it all up.
In any case, it was 10 years ago now. There would surely be no hope of finding him.
Brother, it's literally Drebber. On the contrary, my lord, we all know this witness well. What? Do you not know this?
Are you suggesting, Counsel, that you've identified the person in question? That you know who claims to have seen this utterly incredible events take place?
Yes, my lord. In fact, you could say that he's right here before my very eyes. Yep.
Will substantiate your latest claim now then, Counsel? Who is the alleged witness of this?
We know, bro. We don't need to point it out. It's already obvious. Like, anyway. Present.
Take that!
The man in question is Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Drebber? The previous witness?
Special exhibit in the House of Horrors at Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork. Recreates a decade-old scene in great detail. Yeah. The condemned criminal emerging from the grave, and beside the tomb, a young man with a lantern stumbling upon the terrifying sight. Yep. And that young man is a 10-year younger Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Oh my god!
Is it real? Oh my god.
Order! Surely not, Counsel.
Drebber was there, in Lowgate Cemetery.
What is all this talk about Mr. Drebber? Is the name significant?
Of course, Madame Tuspel doesn't know, does she? Yes, it's extremely significant, madame. The your situation as well, in fact.
What situation?
The theft of the Professor Waxwork from your museum some days ago was perpetrated by the very same man.
No! But that would mean...
Madame Tuspels. It would appear you know the name, Enoch Drebber.
Oui, yes, I know it. But from long ago, in the past.
What?
Oh my!
Good gracious!
Explain yourself. No, explain yourself. That's everything you know.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
The story of the young man and the terrible sight he witnessed in the cemetery 10 years ago was published in every single newspaper in London and throughout Great Britain. However, in all of the articles, the witness was simply described as a certain young man. The details were published about his identity. His name was never revealed. That is, apart from in one newspaper. Daily Circus. It is the paper from which comes the article I have already shown in court.
You're saying that his full name was only publicized in that article?
Goodness me, yes, here it is! The university student who experienced this shocking event is Mr. Enoch Drebber, a disciple of science at the University of London and a resident of its student dorms.
Unbelievable!
Then I read the article. I went to meet with the man. His discovery of the condemned criminal coming back to life in the cemetery in the dead of night would make a perfect exhibit of my House of Horrors, whether it was the truth or not.
Fair.
I see, so you went to meet Mr. Drebber in order to sculpt the waxwork of the man, did you?
Exactement. He was studying science at the University of London in those days. He was just a poor student. I paid him £5 to model for the waxwork. And since that time, it has been in my museum to recreate the scene of terror from the cemetery.
Wow, she converted £5 into like so much money. Good hustle, bro. What's going on? So, 10 years ago, a young man appealed to the public about an extraordinary event he'd witnessed. A criminal who had been put to death, re-emerging from his grave in the middle of the night. But the public treated his claim as nothing more than an amusing anecdote that was soon forgotten. 10 years later, the same man steals a waxwork model of the executed criminal, ostensibly to use as a body double for the victim in the case we're discussing here today. Even though the waxworks build is a poor match for the victim, and its face is obscured by a mask. So the question is, why would the man do such a thing? Yeah. Which brings us to 3 days ago. The birdcage crashed into the crystal tower. The birdcage had in fact contained not the body of Mr. Aspen, but that same waxwork. The coroner from Scotland Yard who investigated Dr. Scythe would have noticed immediately. And yet, he submitted this autopsy report for the victim, which the court has seen earlier. Why? Because the waxwork was that of the professor. Is that what you're saying? Dr. Scythe wrote her name to a document confirming the death of a condemned criminal who was still alive. A criminal whose apparent resurrection was witnessed by Mr. Drabber. That misconduct was a deadly secret the coroner will do anything to protect. Which is precisely why Mr. Drabber used that particular waxwork as the body double. What? Why? Okay, I'm not following you. What? Oh! My lord, this court must summon Dr. Scythe to the stand. The defense is determined to find out exactly how the coroner and Mr. Drabber are connected.
According to the missive I received this morning through the prosecutor's office, Dr. Scythe is unable to participate in the proceedings. Is that not the case?
Come on. Hey, bro, Van Zieks, you're my guy. Put yourself in danger, it's fine, bro. Even if you go to prison, which will probably happen because you will allow it. Allow it. Allow Dr. Scythe to be a witness in court, despite like Lord Strongheart's orders.
She told us herself, didn't she?
Yeah.
Lord Van Zieks won't be summoning me as a witness. Lord Strongheart has forbidden it. It's forbidden it.
Lord Strongheart.
The Pandora's box you were warned about is the Professor case. But please don't make the mistake of thinking or get any information about it out of me.
Okay. Something happened on the night of that killer's execution 10 years ago. And surely nobody would want to get to the bottom of that more than Lord Van Zieks. Yeah. He has emotional reasons for it too.
The prosecution calls for the instructions in that missive be scrapped.
Oh my god, yes! Yes!
But Lord Van Zieks, the missive was issued from the Lord Chief Justice's office.
The assigned prosecutor has the final say on policy in any particular trial. In other words, me. He's putting his balls, everything on the table, bro. 10 toes on business, bro. Yes!
Let Enoch Drabber and Dr. Scythe both take the stand together.
Bro, he's going against everyone with us, you know, he's going like facing against the fucking like entire government with us, bro. And he's like fucking his position over, like he's putting himself in danger for this shit. Oh man, hey, this guy, he's so cool. Bro, not this. I mean, I love Van Zieks. I love Van Zieks. He's just the goat. He's the goat. Let me take a piss break. I really need to pee after this monumental event. My bad. Up. Yeah. Wait. Okay.
Order! Very well, I will uphold your request. Bailiff, send us a pony with immediate effect addressed to Dr. Scythe of the Forensic Investigation Team. The woman is compelled to attend on Her Majesty's orders.
Alright then, Enoch Drebber and Dr. Scythe. If they weren't colluding with one another, this crime could never have been committed. Yeah, and I like the fact, like, you know, it's personal to Zeke's. He's like, hey, fuck it, bro. I want to know the truth behind my brother's death, bro. I do not give a fuck. But this is so cool. So high stakes. We're just a stone's throw away. I can feel it. The truth behind all this is about to come out. Okay. Still managed to bring you, bro. All the relevant actors of that event.
Thank you for your attendance at such short notice, Dr. Scythe.
I'm disappointed in you, Lord Van Zeeks. You've completely betrayed the agreed policy of both Scotland Yard and the prosecutor's office.
Betrayal is not in my nature. As long as... Wait, why did I do a French? Betrayal is not in my nature, as long as the truth isn't compromised. If it is, if there's even a hint of wrongdoing, then no matter whom it concerns or disgruntles. I will pursue the matter to the bitter end.
Wait, wait, something's going on with my voice. I cannot do him. Yeah, I mean, I wish, but...
Okay.
I will pursue the matter to the bitter end. There we go. As would any prosecutor worth his salt.
Yeah, buddy, shut the fuck up. The truth over all. We're in a court of justice, nothing else matters. I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm not. Fuck you. Who do you think you are? Okay. Mr. Drebber, you took the victim's life by means of a machine you constructed in your workshop. And Dr. Scythe, as investigating coroner, you were the first one on the scene to examine the victim's body. It is the belief of the defense, yeah, that you collaborated with each other and were both complicit in this crime.
And where is your evidence?
Present, we have no definitive evidence, but we do have a very significant clue.
What are you talking about?
Talking, of course, about the waxwork. Yeah. The smuggler of the killer known as the Professor, who was sentenced to death 10 years ago.
You don't need to tell me. I witnessed the man's execution with my own eyes, and officially pronounced him dead.
Remains to be seen.
Is that so?
According to the newspaper report from the time, on the night following his execution, the killer came back to life.
Don't waste my time.
And the sole witness to that mysterious event was you, Mr. Drebber, wasn't it? He's not speaking. If what you saw in the graveyard that night 10 years ago wasn't some chilling fiction, but reality, it would make you privy to a very great secret of Dr. Scythe's. A secret so profound it could compel the coroner to agree to collaborate in your evil scheme, in fact. True. Mr. Drebber. Oh! She got blackmailed! She got blackmailed with the picture he was taking with his camera roll, which doesn't have the camera because he has the picture to use as blackmail, and that's why there's blood on the thing, which was blood that was spattered when the guy got shot. Obviously! Yes! That's what. Hey, remember, mark my words, bro. I predict it every time. And although it's rather obvious to make that connection, but still, you know, I'm just telling you probably what happened. Mr. Drebber, tell the court, tell everyone the truth of what you saw in that night in Lowgate Cemetery. It was the student who saw it. You can see the resemblance actually, can't you? With the man in Madame Tuspel's, I mean. Sure, he's not going to claim that that's really what he saw. with the man in Madame Tesla's. He was a research student at the University of London, wasn't he? And a bit too clever for his own good, if you ask me. Then for aura farming. What an interesting twist. When at the time, not one person would take me seriously. Yet now, here we are, 10 years later, and suddenly my story matters, and in a court of law, too. Very well, then, if everyone so wishes. Let's be frank, I'll tell you the truth of what happened that night, for what it's worth. Look at the side eye, bro. She was like demonic, like, like intent of murder, like extreme.
So, Mr. Trevor, your testimony, please.
Wait. About the events of that night, yeah.
You will tell the court exactly what you stumbled across in Lowgate Cemetery.
Yes, of course, as you wish. The cemetery 10 years earlier. The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery at all 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say. Yes, the illustration in that newspaper article was based on what I witnessed that night. But thinking back now, I realized that I never actually saw the professor. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me from wax. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist, and it was all because of that newspaper article. Wait a minute, you're claiming you didn't actually see the professor now? Of course, you would have to have a screw loose if you believe that corpse could come back from the dead. But, so you're saying this article is not worth the paper it's printed on? I think that would describe it perfectly. Yes. Ah!
If the details in the article aren't true, it nullifies your argument for why Mr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe would have been working together.
So he's discrediting himself to cripple my argument. Interesting.
Tell me, witness. You claim to have been in the cemetery on some auxiliary business. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, please. That's right. Grave robbing, to be precise. What? As you know, Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So among students at the university, it had a reputation for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Grave robbing, you say?
Yes, exhuming fresh corpses to sell is reasonably lucrative. Of course, I never laid a finger on any valuables buried with the dead. So you were one of the so-called resurrectionists, a particularly unpleasant scourge on society. Actually, my fellows and I went by another name. The repurposers, yeah, sure, rather.
That described beyond the pale. You would invite divine retribution, sir?
Yes, well, I think I suffered retribution enough. The Delhi Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print. It caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university. That was the only paper with the bad grace to identify me unambiguously, I might add. I see. Out of interest. Who drew the illustration for this article? Yeah, it's written. Ah yes, that was the reporter who exposed me. He sketched that right in front of me, as described the scene. Obviously, as time ticked on, I bitterly regretted what I'd done. Claiming to have seen something I never truly saw. Foolish. Very foolish. Yeah, you're not saying his name though. Say his name, bro. Name him.
Well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed to the cross-examination now.
At once, my lord. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Okay. No, probably not. Illustrations are based on what I witnessed that night. Yeah. Take it back. Yeah. I never saw the actual purpose. Yeah. Yeah, one woman. Yeah. I get my dream of. Okay. The strange happening at Lowgate Cemetery, which you now deny. Not entirely. I ran to fetch the police at the time, you know.
I was shaking like a leaf, but I didn't believe a word of it. In fact, I was very nearly arrested myself.
So you went to the papers instead?
It started big with the London news, but unsurprisingly, they didn't want to know either. In the end, though, it was reporters from the gossip rags, the gutter press, that came to get my story. It had spread like the plague through the capital, as gossip-hungry Londoners lapped up to the tale. The story was in every newspaper, a single paper at the time, with the exception of some broadsheets. And yet only 2 or 3 of them actually interviewed me personally. Most of the accounts turned out to be very interpretive ghost stories.
What about the article in the Daily Circus?
A particular journalist found me at my dormitory. I don't know how, but he's discovered my name. So I recounted to him exactly what had happened that night.
Maybe he was he had a reason for coming to you because he's related to this guy. Maybe it's his father, you know? Like Dresden Assman or something, I don't know. But from your description, he drew this illustration.
Precisely, that's how I learned that the condemned man was the infamous professor. Because the reporter told me so. I had no idea myself, you see. Newspaper reporters are wont to snoop around in matters that don't concern them. So the scene portrayed in the illustration is accurate then. Well, thinking back now, I really never actually saw the professor at all, though.
Let's press this. That young woman being Madame Taspels, of course.
Precisely. I must say, I didn't expect to run into her again like this 10 years later.
As I have explained, I went by the name published in the article, and comme ça, I found the man.
Yes, the article in the Daily Circus, I think you said.
Was a poor student with barely a penny to my name at the time. And the young lady put £5 in front of me.
So you readily consented to having a waxwork of yourself made and gave permission for it to be put on display.
I did. I should sell what little I had to sell, I concluded.
Oui, I remember now. I purchased something else from you that day, n'est-ce pas?
Ooh. The camera! The camera! The camera! The camera! The camera! The camera! The camera!
I'm telling you, did you? I can't say I remember.
What was it, madam?
His camera.
I did it again. And the prophesizing strikes again. There we go.
His camera.
Ah. It's authentic.
Oh yes, I made to a point of taking it with me whenever I had an excursion into any cemetery. You took a camera, which you saw? To what end? To record the details of the bodies I disinterred. But I had no intention of ever visiting a graveyard again after that night, so I sold it. I see.
But you kept the picture with you.
But I still have it, monsieur. It is part of the special exhibit in my House of Horrors. I'm very much curious about such details. It is the Tellspell's way. It would seem, then, that this is the very camera Mr. Drebber took with him to Logate Cemetery on the night in question.
Yes, interesting. They gave up on the name of becoming a scientist. Yeah, wait. How was their blood, though? You press on this. What are you talking about? Wait, oops.
I think I explained already, didn't I? Logate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. She was renowned among students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of the condemned victims. For some absurd reason, I was scared of the graveyard at night. As a result, I only too willingly to believe some of that nonsense about the dead coming back to life.
You said you actually saw it.
Instead of what I'd seen in my mind's eye. After all, resurrection is impossible, isn't it? You'd have to be unhinged to think otherwise. Unless, of course, you have some evidence that proves I encountered the professor that night.
I do. I don't know. Is there any matter? Yeah.
If we have anything at all, Mr. Naruto,
I know.
Point is, that night was a pivotal moment in my life.
And I have your evidence. And it's...
Whoops.
Boom.
Objection!
What? But we have a picture with blood on it. What are you talking about? Are you stupid? Are you moronic? Are you idiotic? Are you dumbass? What? Do we need to scan it again? Yeah, no, we don't. Like, what the fuck is your... What? Yeah, we literally know. What? I don't know. What? What I think shall we say? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we can press on this about the Aspen stuff. This article, you mean? Published in the Daily Circus?
Yes, somebody informed Dean that it was my name that appeared in the article. And curiously let slip that night after night. I was digging up graves, hardly a model student, you might say. The university's reputation was execrably defiled, and I was expelled as a result.
Mon Dieu, I had no idea.
Having being run out of university, you found employment in a somewhat specialist trade.
Combine your knowledge of science with knowledge of stage magic to create various experimental machines intended to demonstrate never seen before seen technology. Yeah. And use those deceptive machines to trick the government and private investors into giving you money.
Just says nothing.
Professor Albert Harebrain was just your latest victim, wasn't he?
Whatever are you talking about? I have no recollection of doing anything of the sort.
What was that about? Maybe I actually need to press this.
Hold it!
By moonlighting, you mean grave robbing, do you?
Hey, Shari, you only need to look at the graveyard scene and my appearance to gauge the answer to the hat. The lantern and spade.
Who on earth would want to buy a dead body? Any major ills before? A hospital? In order to better understand the human body, the study of anatomy is crucial to medical science. There isn't a hospital in the world that has enough specimens to work with. Though obviously, they can't openly express an interest in obtaining more by dubious means. As aspiring scientists, we young research students had no money to work with, as I'm sure you can imagine. So we made surreptitious arrangements with the hospital via some of our medical student acquaintances.
We'd never take anything of value from the graves. This was all for the furtherance of science, you see. That's what we all told ourselves every time we stole into the graveyard that night, spade in hand. You realize body snatching is a serious crime. If you were caught, you could expect the gravest of consequences. We students were caught between the hammer and the anvil. We needed funds for research. Professor Harebrain said exactly the same.
Quite speechless at the apparent levity with which you've revealed this abhorrent behavior.
Well, if you wanted to know why I was there at Lowgate Cemetery, that's the reason. But I never expected it to end the way it did, that I regret to this day. No, I meant to go back. Fuck. It's complicated. I can realize that I actually saw the professor at all, though. You didn't give up, though. You didn't give up as a scientist. Is that what I need to push you on? Yeah, no, you didn't give up. Maybe you need to present this.
Objection.
Shit. Defense will have to object that this statement.
No, shut the fuck up. Lol. No.
Okay. Let me save. I'm just confused right now. I'm skipping the tips because I don't like getting tips and hints to figure out shit. Because otherwise I don't get any merit. Anyway. Shit. No, don't tell me the tips. Moonlighting. But what would you have a picture? Your reasons for being there is not moonlighting. You had a camera with you because it was top secret.
Objection.
Ah, bitch! You bitch! Fuck. Was it based on an illustration or from a photo? Yeah, you didn't go there for moonlighting. Yeah, no, you had a camera again.
Objection.
Man, I'm dead. I have no contradictions to expose now. What are you talking about? Like, you were not there for moonlighting. We could... I just don't get it. Maybe that's gonna be the thing.
Objection.
Never mind. I need to contradict his reasons because his reasons was not moonlighting. I know it's because he wanted to see the real face. you know, and he could sell like the secret identity for a lot of money, you know, and that's why in the end he went to see like reporters and shit, because he thought, because like, oh, it's another story regardless, you know, I could sell this as well. What's this? Okay, I thought it was like someone's secret here. No, nothing to do with this. For stirring burgeoning talent for the future of the scientific discovery. It's rather ironic. A Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. Why a Royal Society though? I don't know, man. I don't get it. What am I? No, I guess I have no evidence for like to point this out. What's the contradiction here? Like, there's contradictions they can actually point out, but like they don't let me fucking. Oh, the illustration in that newspaper was based. What I witnessed that night. Was it though? Because the illustration, like, you had the camera. And it's Assman, bro. It's literally Assman.
Objection.
Kill me. Load. I'm gonna bomb this whole fucking thing. Okay. Wait. Shit. Okay, fine. What's Robert up to? Okay, wait. Yeah. Because circumstances have changed now. What circumstances? Well, if he admits to having seen the professor emerging alive from his grave 10 years ago. Well, it was a secret in Dr. Sai's past that she would desperately want to hide. Yeah, he would do some blackmail. Yes, of course, if Jabber and Dr. Sai were working together now. Then if Jabber were to betray her, there would be no reason for her to continue to cooperate. Then there's literally no. I thought it would be tips or something, but I guess not. Then, Just knows that Logate Cemetery at all 10 years ago was a spot of moonlighting. You actually saw the professor at all, though. But you did, though. You did, though. You did though. You did though. Did I? Yeah, I already did that though. Like present the camera. I just don't know. I am so confused. See, I told you, the voices of the damned, bro, like... fucking... Bro, I did... Unfortunate. My bad, you know. They just don't know how to deal with kids, bro. That's what I guess, like, you know. Anyway, Robert detailing the terms that which profit from the Kinesis experiment. But bro, like this, yeah. Let me.
Objection.
Okay, doesn't it help with shit? Ugh. I'm so confused, but based on what I witnessed that night, This is actually some professor, although sisters is one who sculpted models of me from wax. You're just looking at walkthrough. I'm sorry, like I really wanted to figure this out, but this doesn't make any sense. There's so many inconsistencies that I can point out, but it just doesn't let me point them out. Like, what the fuck do you want from me? You know, walk through, like, yeah, blah, yeah. TGAA, no, wait, no. How did it walk through? Wait, did I not search walkthrough before? Like, walk through, yeah, no, no, TGAA, 2, how do they call this? Walk through, yeah, whatever the fuck. Resolve strategy wiki. Yeah. Investigation, yeah. Trial, I don't know what trial part I am on. I'm on part 4, yeah, I'm at the end, but like... Yeah, presented in your article. Statement 3, presented in your article. What?
Objection!
What? Sure, bro, sure. Sorry, Mr. Jabba, I don't believe that. Don't believe what? I'm not gonna do his voice. Like, that actually pissed me off. It is claimed you did see the professor on that night 10 years ago. Oh dear, we seem to be at odds. I was there, and you were not. I know what I didn't see. Your illustration with this article was wrong based upon you told journalists that you witnessed. You're emerging from a tomb, wearing an iron mask. I think I even presented the iron mask, if I'm not wrong. Like, not, or maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Like, I present the camera also works for this. Like the stain, the fact there was a stain, it wouldn't have been a stain out of nowhere if you sold it just after the incident, right? You know. In fact, there's the thing missing, and like the... Anyway. Yes, when the killer was tried 10 years ago, it was decided in the close court's ruling that the man would wear the mask to hide his identity was to be removed even during his execution. Okay, so it's not the technique of the... Okay. Subsequent to burial. Even the prison wardens were to see the man's face. But obviously, the presence of this man was not public knowledge. Yeah. So Mr. Jabba, as you just heard... A lovely student at the University of London certainly wouldn't have known about the condemned man's mask. So unless it actually seen the professor that night. It's conceivable that the artist would have included the mask in that illustration. Can we like literally point out that it's Asman who did the illustration? Like, can we do that, please?
Order! Order! Well, Mr. Jabba.
It's a vile scene, isn't it? If you look closely. And as I've already been at pains to point out, I was utterly petrified. Which is why I had it in my head while I'd seen such a blood-curdling sight. But afterwards, I came to my senses and realized that I'd been mistaken. You're still saying you didn't see it?
If you're stubbornly sticking to that story, witness, then I amend your testimony to explain exactly how you think your eyes deceived you.
Of course. Only too happily to oblige. Can't believe he's still not going to concede the point. Yeah, like, dickhead. But I, in fact, witnessed was a fellow grave robber at work. Eh?
Hold it!
Fellow grave robber, what are you talking about? Well, I wasn't the only one busy in the cemetery that night, you know? Other body snatchers were at work. Ah, he's gonna talk about dust spells. Of course, when I saw one emerging from the hole he'd dug, my heart very nearly stopped. That's the terrifying sight I actually saw, you see. You're claiming it was just another student, equally unsalubrious business as yourself. Many of the medical students would wear metal masks to protect them from bacteria during dissections. Clearly the fellow was using such a mask to protect his anonymity. Wouldn't you say?
Objection!
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But there's more to the story, isn't there? The article goes on to say, the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more.
I just assumed that the sexton discovered the miscreants at works, perhaps, and fired upon one of them.
If a gravedigger had shot someone in the cemetery, I think it might have been a rather big news, my lord.
Oh, yes, well.
You can only assume it was an embellishment.
Strange.
Strange. It's an embellishment bolted on later by the reporter. There we go.
Excuse me.
Madame Tuspels! Don't take it out on Mr. Sholmes. Oh la la, pardon. I was lost in my thoughts. Would it be fair to say that Mr. Drebber's last remark was significant to you in some way? I thought it was a little strange, that is all. How Mr. Drebber could claim this now?
If you don't mind me saying, madam, what are you talking about?
Well, when I met you 10 years ago at your university dormitory, you recounted to me about your adventures in the cemetery, no? Including the gunshot.
Stop! You might want to watch your tongue, you know?
Objection!
No.
Have a care, Drebber. That's no way to speak to a lady.
Hey! Grrr. Very well. Please, Madame Tuspels, carry on.
Of course. According to what Monsieur Drebber told me at the time, he did hear a gunshot from behind him, and the bullet hit the condemned man.
I said nothing of the sort!
No, you were very explicit about the details. With the mask that that figure was wearing, and the blood that spattered over you when he was shot.
Thank you, madame. My base French woman.
Enough! Shut up, woman!
Yeah, wait, no.
Shut up, woman! You're making all this up! That will do. Mr. Drebber?
Yes?
If you'd account just given by Madame Tuspels. I have no recollection of ever saying those things.
Come on, do you really expect us to believe you?
Control yourself, counsel. I will not permit baseless accusations in my courtroom.
Right.
Under the circumstances, I think it best that you supplement your testimony with a statement to clarify your position on this witness.
Very well.
Hey.
There was no gunshot from behind me at all. No or any...
Finally, we can show the camera.
Objection!
Mr. Drebber, do you remember this camera?
But what is the camera from that? This is the camera for that fateful night.
Yes, we borrowed it from the House of Horrors. It's a camera you took with you to the cemetery to the cemetery that night, Mr. Drebber. And is that supposed to be significant? This kind of camera is barely seen in our homeland, so my colleague and I were keen to examine it closely. Notice that the lens extends forwards on the end of some bellows. Like this.
Hold it!
What's that? There, just on the bellows. It looks like a dark red stain. Oh!
Okay, that's right. It's rather conspicuous mark here on the bellows, in fact.
Good lord, are you suggesting?
Yes, my lord. It would appear to be a spatter of blood.
Something that could be confirmed with a simple chemical test, isn't it right, Miss Dr. Sai?
It would be difficult to determine if it was human blood and not the blood of some animal.
But yes, to test whether or not it's blood at all is simple enough.
Propose that Madame Tuspel's testimony was correct. And on the night in question, 10 years ago, you were spattered with blood from the gunshot wound.
Well,
You can also say that, and furthermore, you really did witness the condemned professor emerging from his tomb. And I also think, he could also just say like, no, the blood came from a long time ago and I just had a nosebleed, you know? You know? Never mind. There's simply no way you could have forgotten such a traumatic experience. In other words, the only explanation is that you're trying to hide the fact that you saw the professor that night.
But why? Why would he want to do that?
Well, not for his own gain, it would seem.
For whose then? Who could benefit?
Great question. Mr. Drebber is obviously lying in order to protect somebody.
Oh my goodness, he's shielding someone!
Yes, my lord, and clearly. It's someone who doesn't want the truth to be about the professor coming back to life, to be exposed.
Well, Counsel, who is it then? Who is this witness?
Come on. That's bloat. But yeah, the obvious answer is Dr. Scythe.
Scythe. Whatever do you mean?
Imagine if the convict who'd been sentenced to death was not in fact killed. Imagine if that was to come to light.
What are you insinuating?
And imagine if the convict in question was the country's most hated mass murderer. If it was the professor.
That would be unprecedented scandal.
Yep.
This is beyond a joke! Need I point out that the dead cannot come back to life? What your suggestion would mean? That the execution never actually happened!
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean.
Once a man is sent to the gallows, he hangs. Not the one who could escape, not in Great Britain.
It was held top secret. But the fact is, there was a witness to the fact that the man did escape his hanging.
If that were really true, Counsel, the implications of misconduct would not stop at the supervising coroner. It would taint the honor of the entire judiciary from the ground up.
Yep. We're taking the government with us, bro. And it's exactly because of those monumental repercussions that Dr. Scythe would consent to any demand made of her by someone who threatened to expose the secret. Yeah, even if that meant being complicit in a crime.
You mean?
Yep. I mean that Dr. Scythe wasn't collaborating in Mr. Drebber's wicked scheme. She was coerced into collaborating in order to protect her decade-old secret. She switched the dead body of Mr. Asman with a waxwork model and fabricated the autopsy report. Okay. Bow! There we go. Lord Van Siegs!
Pray forgive my freshly filled hollow chalice, and a whole raft of other discourtesies now. Goodness me!
Okay, instantly.
It's just the sort of tall tale Londoners would enjoy, I grant you. An executed killer rising from the dead, a Scotland Yard cover-up, a conspiracy at the highest levels. So let me ask you one thing.
What's that?
The condemned man really did emerge from his tomb that night, only to be shot in the chest. Who pulled the trigger? And disposed of him forever.
Well, I have no idea at the moment. We have too little information to work that out at present, I think. I couldn't agree more.
The Old Bailey is no place for wild fantasies.
Ugh.
And have you considered this, my Lord Nipponese friend?
Considered what?
Do you realize just what a dangerous endeavor it would be to coerce this woman into such criminal activity? It sent them out to declaring war on the entire British police force and judiciary. Quite hard to imagine any sum of money being offered for research could warrant it.
To rely on some stage deception when so much is at stake would be madness. Well, I suppose...
This was no petty crime either. The victim was murdered. A man who had already invested money in the venture and would be instrumental in future profits too. Yes, I had no reason to kill Mr. Asman at all. Or are you forgetting that his death results in me receiving not a single penny? The court is already aware of the contract between myself and the victim. No. There is a contract, that's very true.
What could have happened? Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe not that. But for this case runs deep though, I can feel it. Using threats to force the head of the forensic investigation team to cooperate is extreme.
Especially for a government grant he had no guarantee of receiving in the first place. The research grant was the aim. Taking Mr. Asman's life would have made no sense anyway. Which means Mr. Drebber's motive wasn't money at all. He was just trying to kill Mr. Asman. But why? What was his motive then? Your time is up, my learned friend. I'd say you have one last chance before the jury lose their patience with this charade. Let's see if you can back up your heady proposal, shall we?
He dodged.
How do you explain why this engineer would throw all caution to the wind and threaten his own country? But I'm not prepared to listen to more of this outlandish conjecture without proof. Counsel, present your evidence.
Right? What exactly was the Mr. Asman to Drebber? There's a connection there that no one's seen yet. Yeah, I did though. And I'm going to have to present 2 pieces of evidence to show what it is. I know what it is. It's a signature. Okay. Yes, my lord. This establishes a motive and explains why the witness wanted the victim dead is right here.
Take that!
Mr. Drebber, I have here the contract that you signed with Mr. Asman. Yes, that's right. The very document, in fact. That proves I had no reason to kill the man. No, I'm afraid not. As it turns out, this contract actually helps to establish the real motive for the murder you committed.
It does? Well, I never! What are you talking about? Read it again, you idiot!
Not finished. In order to demonstrate what your motive really was, I need this contract and one other piece of evidence.
What other evidence?
Yep, that's true.
Counsel, you will present your supplementary evidence without delay.
Boop, beep, boop, bee doo, bee doo.
Take that!
Wait. It's... Oh, okay. I was scared for a second. It's this newspaper article, my lord. That was written 10 years ago. And every detail has been examined already. What can it possibly tell us?
That drivel should never have been written. A typical gutter press nonsense. That means nothing.
There is something significant that this newspaper article and the contract have in common.
Really?
And it's that common link that shows very clearly why you were determined to kill Mr. Odie Asman. It seems the defense has uncovered something the rest of us have missed. So, my learned friend, point out what these 2 pieces of evidence have in common. Boop.
Take that!
Okay. What these 2 pieces of evidence have in common is a signature.
Signature?
The signature of the illustration that accompanies the 10-year-old article and the signature on the contract belong to the same person.
What?
No! Yeah, as the court has heard, this illustration was drawn 10 years ago by the newspaper reporter who found Mr. Drebber and interviewed him about this ordeal. If you look closely, the reporter's signature can be seen in the bottom right corner of the drawing. And if you look at the contract here, which was signed between the witness and the victim last year, you can clearly see Mr. Asman's signature at the bottom.
Let me see now. Good lord, yes, they're identical.
That would never work for me. I never can manage to make the same signature every time. I always fuck it up. Like, I'll always fuck it. It's never a clone. It's always like a rare one-in-one like event when I do a signature. So I literally, like, I could get in actual trouble because of how bad I am at signatures. In short, the journalist who drew the illustration and wrote the article published about Mr. Drebber 10 years ago was the victim of this case, Mr. Odie Asman. He just like he's copied it. He bar for bar, bro.
But explain to the court why. Why would that constitute a motive for the witness to murder Asman?
Well, if you think back, remember that Mr. Drebber talked about that article in his testimony. Yeah, he ruined his life and shit. He was like,
I'm angry at you because you fucked my life up. Because of you that my life was ruined.
grave robbing, you say? Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, well.
I think I suffered retribution enough. Yeah. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist. It was all because of that newspaper article. But why wait 10 years though? Just kill him instantly, you know? At the time, you were a student of the University of London who dreamt of becoming a scientist. However, a single newspaper article changed your entire life.
Mr. Aspen used to be a newspaper journalist, didn't he?
He did, my lord. In fact, it's a widely held belief that Aspen managed to position himself at the heart of his criminal network, thanks to the many dubious connections he made during his time as a reporter. Okay. So you had to give up on your dream and leave university. You lost everything. Eventually you found yourself working in the field of science, but only in the shadow. Because of that article. Written by Aspen. Enough! Shit, my bad, bro.
Stop this endless dribble about my life.
What?
Explain yourself, Mr. Jabba.
Yes, it's true. I had to leave the university as a result of that article.
It was just a straw that broke the camel's back.
What do you mean?
Almost every student of science in the faculty was too poor to actually conduct any research. They struggled on the why their hypothesis anyway. We all did, only to have them taken by vultures. Sooner or later, you knew our ideas would be stolen and patented by some wretch or other after all.
Good gracious.
Making a name for yourself as a scientist in a climate like that was a miracle only a select few geniuses could ever hope to achieve. Personally, I wasn't one of those geniuses, so it was hardly a wrench. Being forced out of university because of a low gate, that was the best thing that could have happened to me.
Mr. Jabba, you for real though? You genuinely believe that?
Of course I do! Who better place to know whether or not I possess a talent for science than me?
I'm sorry to say that your words don't ring true at all.
How dare you!
And I have evidence to prove it.
Are you in a position to say anything about me? I don't know you from Adam. If you think you have evidence, go ahead, show it. What could you possibly have to disprove the idea that I was happy to leave university because I lack talent?
Yeah, this. Because he was like laying on the floor, like he didn't give a fuck.
Take that!
Yes. Do you remember this, Mr. Jabber? We found it at your workshop.
Ugh. Is that Royal Society trophy for excellence in science?
What?
What exactly is this trophy, Council?
It's the greatest honor that can be bestowed on a young scientist, my lord. Yep. And you wanted that for yourself, but maybe you stole it. It's not yours. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure.
There is no higher accolade. It recognizes emerging talent and promises a bright future. Good gracious!
The prospects for the future were excellent, weren't they, Mr. Jabber? Because even then, you were a genius in your field. But you lost everything. You had no more future. Your talents would go to waste. And all as a result of this one newspaper article. I don't know when you realized who Mr. Aspen was, but when it dawned on you that he was the same journalist who 10 years ago ruined your life, it's abundantly clear that you had no intention of forgiving the man. Aw, he like...
The truth is...
Finally, he's going to fall. No, he's not. Is it Strongheart? Oh. Oh. Fine. Clearly this has run its course now. What? I admit it. All of it. Whoa! What? Well, what are you doing? That's exactly as the Japanese man said. I was coerced into going along with this man's plot to murder the victim, on the condition that he kept my dirty secret from 10 years ago.
No.
Good lord! Dr. Scythe! Do you realize what you're saying, woman?
Wait, whoa.
It's all true. The day when I arrived at the Crystal Tower and saw the birdcage, my heart nearly stopped beating. That memory from a decade ago that had done my best to bury deep inside myself. It was the professor again, staring me in the face. And then, before I had the chance to react, I noticed something else.
But something in his pocket.
There was a note tucked inside the model's jacket.
Dr. Scythe, you will go along with my plan. From someone who knows the truth about what really happened that night 10 years ago.
All the instructions were there in the note. Every detail was meticulously written out. I had no choice but to do what it said. I made the necessary alterations to the scene and fabricated the autopsy report as instructed. There was really no other choice. It had to be done to protect the judiciary. I can only apologize now.
Thank you for being straightforward.
Why did I thought you buckle now?
I'm tired. Well, there's no point trying to hide it anymore, is there? Would have done anything to stop it coming out. Even collaborated in a murder. But the great lie about the execution 10 years ago has been exposed. Whatever happens, I'm finished. Hey, so then Mr. Jabber, what do you say to that? Your accomplice has admitted everything. You snitched on your ass, buddy? Surely it goes without saying. You admit your part in it too, then? Nope. I admit nothing! At all! What? Of course. I forgot that the kinesis machine was ripped to shreds by an explosion. Short of me admitting to a crime, there's really no possible way for you to prove that I did anything wrong.
No!
Okay.
Order!
Whatever this man says, I admit everything. He threatened to expose my secret, so I went along with his plan. Lord Van Zieks,
Yes.
I hope you'll accept my apologies. What happens next is in your hands, of course.
The little wry smile, you know. Pardon her, please.
We've heard more than enough now. I may present the final findings of this court.
Wait.
This trial is not the proper program in which to pursue the alleged wrongdoings of Mr. Jabba. Defendant is Professor Albert Herbrain.
True. Very true, it had slipped my mind. Isn't he one of your closest friends?
As the court has heard, Dr. Scythe has admitted the allegations brought by the defense, thereby absolving the defendant of any possible guilt.
True! True. You mean...
At the present time, it is the conclusion of this court. The defendant was not involved in any wrongdoing. Does the prosecution have any objection?
Yeah. None, my lord. We did our job.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto.
Yes! You've proven Professor Hairbrain's innocence!
It has leaves a little bitter taste in my mouth, though. Yeah, I feel like, we just got caught, blue-balled. I feel blue-balled right now.
Without further ado, then, the education. And as a prosecutor of defense...
And also he's he's pretty competent, because the other judge from Ace Attorney, like the other Ace Attorney games, he was just, he's gonna be like ape mode the whole fucking way through without like acknowledging that, okay, wait, the defendant is clear though, Anyway.
Does the prosecution or defense have any other matters to discuss?
I don't know. This doesn't feel quite right. Why did Dr. Scythe suddenly admit to it like that?
Everything alright, Mr. Naruto?
Like you said before, the way the trial is just set to end now, the judge will certainly deliver a verdict of not guilty. But is that really what we want? What the defense should be pursuing now is... Further testimony, yeah. Obviously, we want the truth. We didn't get the whole truth. And she admitted, I feel like she wants to like...
Objection!
Yeah. The defense objects to the trial ending at this time, my lord.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, because...
We demand
one final testimony. Yeah, because... I feel like she admitted it because she knew she was gonna be absolved by Van Zieks and avoid like more blame than she would have gotten, you know? Because there's more to it than what's currently showing, you know? We demand one final testimony.
What?
Hey! 6 o'clock.
Do you realize I'm about to adjudicate in favor of your client, I presume?
What are you playing at now, my Japanese friend? Why would you want to obstruct the conclusion of the trial at this point? No defense lawyer in his right mind would do that.
Because I'm more than right in my right mind. I'm in my perfect mind, buddy.
So Naruhodo, what exactly are you thinking?
The truth, the whole truth, and a way to bring it all out in the open.
Right.
Yeah. Want the truth, yes, in hindsight.
Get Mr. Sholmes to the stand, right?
The fuck now. He's extremely good, like, you know, before I go, if the course, yeah. Perceive in the shadow of doubt about the truth. Yeah. Obviously, don't let it out of your sight. Proceed like a dog with a bone. Yeah. Thank you, Sholmes. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. Yes, verily. My guy. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes knew. He must have deduced that this will happen. Because he's a great detective. Cinema! It writes itself, these stories! Oh my goodness! What? Shut the fuck up. Okay, yes, I'm here in court to advocate for my client. And to secure an acquittal. Obviously. But that's not all. I believe that I have a duty to the court to pursue the whole truth of the case. Until every last detail is laid bare. Yes! Yes! That is why the defense calls for further testimony from Dr. Scythe. Testimony from me? But what? About the nature of your collaboration with Mr. Enoch Drebba. In case it escaped your attention, I've already admitted everything I did. The whole truth has already been revealed. So stop wasting everyone's time. As his lordship made very plain, your client will get the acquittal you wanted for him. There's simply no point protracting this business further with another tedious cross-examination. Yes, my guy! Let's fucking go. Pray forgive my careless handling of that hallowed bottle. I slipped. That's what you call it? Yeah, bro. Objection. What is your objection, Lord Van Zieks? Bro, he's there. He's with us. He's like, okay, I get you. Like, I was already like working with you, but bro, Naruhodo, my buddy. No, Naruhodo, my buddy. I see you're based as fuck. And you want the truth. I understand your true colors now, and I am the same. So let's fucking go and pin them down to the ends of the world. Yes. Or some cringe shit like that. You know, maybe he's probably with more aura, less cringe than what I've done. You know, but most likely. I love this shit, man. I love this shit. What is your objection, Lord Van Zieks? Prosecution also calls for supplementary testimony from the witness. Don't be stupid. Shut up. There is more to this case than has yet come to light. Then I will join my learned friend in pursuing the facts. Yes! Pursuing the facts until the bitter end. This is so fucking high, bro. Yo, what? Look at her face. I mean, she was already pale, but she feels like she's even pale with her wide-eyed, bro. Lord Van Zieks, finally confess your love to me again.
This is most irregular, to say the least. However, the prosecution also calls for it. I will uphold the request. Dr. Scythe, you will testify for the court, explaining the full extent of your involvement in the murder. Yeah.
Very well. This is so fucking awesome. The waxwork plot. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. Yeah, why the stabbing though? I enlisted the help of the forensics investigation team to dress the scene appropriately. Whoa!
The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the high-steel level. I had to protect it.
She got like fucking like her underlings involved as well. So I was right, the stage and the machine were all specially designed for the deception.
So it seems. And all meticulously prepared.
But I've showed up right at the end. Yeah, but hello, yeah, hey, this is fucking insane! Oh my god, like, bro, the fuck, hey, Lord Van Ziek's Naruhodo, like, they both like came in, just like, they were like, okay, bro, hey, we're gonna both, like, they went in the middle of the fucking, like, courtroom, they went like, big handshake, big manly handshake, we're gonna follow the truth to the end. Even, like, Naruhodo said, hey, I don't care if my client is right now, is not guilty, I wanna see the truth to the end. And Lord Van Ziek was like, whoosh, he threw his like bottle behind him and said, hey, fuck it, bro, yeah, I'm with you too. And now we're like pinching the truth right to the fucking... Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. They didn't actually do the handshake, but it was handshakes in spirit. And it's fucking hype. Like the case, in like the whole thing right now, like was kind of like slow but steady, was very interesting. Like doubling the play, bro, right? Like this is like fucking insane. Ah! I'm so fucking hyped.
So it seems, and all meticulously prepared. You did well, see it through. You're a very shrewd boy.
Yeah, and this woman actually was coerced by Drebber to... you'll watch the VOD. Anyway, you'll get it. I don't know. It's so kind of you to say. Yeah.
And what about this autopsy report then? All they did was record the location of the body as being in the Crystal Tower instead of under the stage. That's all? That's a terrible corruption! Only my team were aware of the deceit, and then only...
Also, all my theories were correct, except for the fact that, like, I mean, we don't know yet if the waxwork guy looks the same, like exactly the same, or is the same person as Dr. Asman. But it was definitely, you know, there's something going on right now, and you still have yet to look at his like real face. Okay,
only my team were aware of the deceit, and then only under my explicit instructions. Nobody else at Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you.
We must be thankful for small mercies, I suppose. Well, I believe that testimony has clarified everything. There's no particular need for cross-examination, I would say.
No, I disagree. I can shake the feel that something's wrong. Yeah. Look at her smile. She's so evil. I like that. Okay, just look at the expression of Dr. Sai's face. Yeah, she's like... If she had a mustache, she'd be twirling it like a man, like an evil person right now. Okay. And it's the defense's right to cross-examine any witness following testimony.
What is it about you Japanese that makes you all so doggedly persistent?
Hey man, it is what it is.
Very well, if you so desire, Counsel, proceed with a cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Yes. Okay.
The waxwork plot. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork in the note tucked inside the jacket. Its jacket.
I'm gonna press you on absolutely everything. You're gonna spit the truth out, buddy. No matter the cost. What you described before, it sounds like the note was anonymous. Did you have any idea who was behind it?
There are very few people in the know about what really happened 10 years ago to start with. But anyway, I'd never heard of this engineer. So no, I had no idea.
Despite not knowing who was behind the plan, you went along with it?
I had no choice. Protecting the professor's secret was my only concern.
The horse has bolted now, and the stable door will never shut again. Scotland Yard's reputation will be immeasurably damaged as a result of all this.
Yes, thank you, Lord Van Zieks. I'm well aware of that.
So as I understand it, what you found in the birdcage was the waxwork model. Or where, then, was the victim's body?
The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the
Okay, you're pressing on that. So you knew about the special construction of the stage used to carry out the trick then?
It was quite obvious what had happened with the victim at the waxwork.
Yeah. And you switched the two over, didn't you? In other words, you recorded the victim's body as having been discovered in the Crystal Tower. And the waxwork?
I wrapped it and sent it by carriage to the specified address at the specified time.
Okay. And why were you given such directions?
Presumably... Presumably so it could be recovered by Drebber and returned to Madame Tuspel's.
I see, and then you put the birdcage back on the experimentation stage.
Yes, although someone obviously made a mistake about which cage should go where. I thought I'd made it perfectly clear to the team, but still. I suppose you were focused on the victim's body, that being a more important detail.
Yep. Okay, what else? What else? The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. Okay. When you say arranged, presumed you mean with this?
Yes, the instructions in the engineer's note said something along those lines of fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Asman.
So, you mean that was your doing? Ah, so she stabbed him after! Okay, he fell down.
I fetched Hairbrain's ridiculous screwdriver from the stage and took it with me, alone, to the abyss under the stage where the birdcage had fallen.
Alone, Doctor?
I didn't feel it would be appropriate to involve anybody else in a particular part of the deception. There was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt. I approached it, leaned down, and slowly opened it up. Then, I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest.
Ooh. Okay.
And then you noted that in your fake autopsy report, as a fictitious cause of death.
What about the broken neck, though?
Exactly.
So, the actual cause of death was
the trauma resulting from the 30-foot drop.
My word.
What does that tell us?
What is it, Mr. Sato? Something about Dr. Scythe's last statement. It's playing on my mind, that's all. Yes, mine too.
Add that to the Dr. Scythe.
There's really no need to shout. I can hear you perfectly well.
Defense calls for you to add what you just said to the formal testimony.
Oh, which part?
What I want to hear, what does her stabbing him add to the plot, to what happened in the... Yeah, the real cause of death, I think, would be more telling, because the head snapping, because of the fall. Let me save, because I'm like on 1 HP. Okay. Okay, this is so good! I'm having so much fucking fun. I'm having a fucking blast over here, bro. The real cause of death, probably. The real cause of death being the fall of 30 feet, that part.
Fine, if that's what you want. Just stop yelling, please.
The prosecution concurs.
Very well. You will supplement your testimony now, witness.
If you wish, my lord.
Was that the wrong decision or the correct? Because they let us continue. The actual cause of death was the neck trauma Asman suffered from the 30-foot fall. What does that tell us, though? What does it give us? Because why? I mean... What does that tell us? Like, genuinely. What does it help with anything?
Hold it!
I'm so curious. Okay, hold on. You're quite sure of that? It was a result of a broken neck?
Yes, as a professional, there was more than apparent.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Wait! Maybe because the fall wasn't actually the cause of, and he was still alive by then. But she was the one who killed him in the end, like to give the final like final blow. That's probably it though. Like she was the one who dealt the final blow, which would leave the blame off of Mr. Drebber. Yes, that's what's happened. Yeah, that's probably. Oh, interesting. I'm thinking that's probably what's. Okay.
You never know just by looking at a photograph of the victim, though, would you?
No, that's very true.
Obviously not. Which is precisely why coroners are needed to determine the actual facts.
Yes, assuming they can be trusted. Yeah.
There's no point calling her assessment into question without evidence. Let's get back to testimony.
Very well.
Yeah, he wants evidence because I think we can point something out. I think we can. Oh, it's raining. Okay. Time of death. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart. I told you! She knew that she was the one who ended him.
Objection!
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Never mind.
Save. Okay, interesting. But like, she says, but in her thing, she says that the okay, but I mean she says the actual cause of death. But never mind. He doesn't have a broken neck here, does he? You know, I guess what I'm thinking. Like, he doesn't have a broken neck in this image. Wait, what is he resting on? Yeah, his neck looks perfectly fine.
Objection!
Shites. Okay. What can we make of the statement? That's the real pickle here. Okay, let's continue pressing and then we'll see. Okay. This is the help of the entire physics. Yeah. Actually, this is kind of crazy how like she enlisted everyone. The entire team in perverting the course of justice. Yep.
A team consists of the very best investigators there are. I demand loyalty from all members. We operate on a code of chivalry of sorts.
You aid and abet a murder, commit perjury, and dare talk about chivalry?
It was a matter of priorities.
What?
Nothing was more important than protecting the secret of the professor. My team did what it was necessary, without losing sight of the primary goal. I considered her conduct exemplary.
Ugh.
Don't concede the point, Mr. Naruto. We mustn't let her win.
You're the lawyer.
I take that sign as that's it. Acceptance. Now, can we move on? The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I had to protect it.
Hold it!
But at what cost? Faith in Scotland Yard is going to suffer a terrible blow as a result of this.
And your precious secret is out now anyway.
Yes, as you say. And I take full responsibility.
Blow me down, Dr. Scythe!
Surely was some other way you could have protected the secret.
No, there really wasn't. I've done my utmost, believe me. In many ways, I respect your determination.
Oh, thank you. Phew, I nearly froze under that cold stare she said that.
I do believe she was being genuine though, Mr. Naruto.
Yeah. So that's her story. I'm doing overtime here because this shit is hyping me up so much I cannot just leave the bone, bro. I can't leave the bone right now. I gotta chomp on extensively on every single inch of it, bro. Okay, don't make it weird, but like I gotta go to the fucking marrow. Like this is too good to leave like blue ball, bro. Okay, now I fucked it up because I said blue ball. Fuck me. Never mind. Okay, whatever. She's admitted everything and revealed her involvement to the crime.
I wonder if there could really be much more to it.
But I don't know, but I just have a feeling.
Do you, Mr. Naruto? The truth is, I found it strange too. All those two are reaching to this in completely opposite ways, I mean.
Yes, exactly. For some reason, I feel sure they're still trying to hide something. Okay. Maybe that's another thing I was supposed to like. Looking through the grill at the base though. Like, yeah. He was poking. I was thinking about that, but I didn't even make the connection. It was in my brain. I just didn't address it. Obviously, because it was still at the top of the grill thing. Duh! It could have, if it was down, she would have left it at the bottom. No? Or maybe she could have just brought it back up, but you know. It's probably gonna be wrong, but let's present it anyway.
Objection!
Yes, it was wrong. As expected, unfortunately. But we need to go through every possibilities, you know? Okay. Wooden bird cage, crash down, victim inside. Yeah, wait, but damage to its base though. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there we go.
Objection!
Wait.
Never mind.
Okay. What can I make of this? The shit got blown to smithereens. Yeah, it had a trapdoor. What about it? Like, what can I... Wait. I'm just fucking with you, Your Honor. Yeah, literally. 10-year-old article, no... All women addicted only uphold his right to both protecting parties that are alive. What am I doing wrong? Wait, is there something I'm not seeing, or maybe I can like ask for the other version of the testimony, like you know what she did, right? Okay, yeah. And then we can like ask to like no switch it up, because maybe that's the important part. Maybe I did fuck it up. Oh yeah. I'm sure you could ask Debtor Scythe to change the supplementary testimony she gave before. And what should I ask her? Yeah. Have her change it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we were wrong then. Debtor Scythe, what you said before about what you did to the victim's body, I believe that may be significant. So could you change your supplementary statement to explain that instead?
Very well.
Stood over the victim's corpse, where it laid in the toppled cage, and plunged a screwdriver into the chest.
Hold it!
So it was you who stabbed Miss Asman with this?
Yes.
Far easier than the section, I assure you. No precision required. What a welcome change. The victim died instantly from a snapped neck. All they did was carry out the instructions that had been given. As unflinchingly as ever, no doubt. Imagine you didn't bat an eyelid when you drove the weapon into his body. There's no need to bat my eyelids. Yeah. And what else did you do to twist the facts? Remind the court, why don't you?
If you wish.
Okay. Is that significant? Stood over the victim's corpse. Plunged a screwdriver into the chest. What does that tell us though? My brain is like hurting. Bomb the... Yeah, this... This... Wait. There's no blood in there, isn't there? Yeah, there's no blood in there. What? I mean, maybe he could have, like... I'm so confused. What the hell am I supposed to point out? Yeah... It can plunge a screwdriver into the chest. Oh man, this is like fucking with my brain. I think I actually got it right then, because when I pressed it again, it just said nothing else. But when before he said like present evidence. So it must be it though.
Hold it!
So let me just switch it again. Show us that cool cutscene again.
Whee!
Okay. Yeah. Change it again. Change it again. If you're psyched, what you said before about the real cause of death, I believe that may be significant, okay?
Very well.
Okay. Maybe I didn't... Wait, let me check my court record. Because maybe I didn't check everything properly. Let me look at this. Nope, nothing. What about this? Okay, nothing. What about this? What is this? Red rock here. Yeah, I think it's irrelevant, probably. To spell special exhibit, nothing to do with it. Actual cause of death was a neck trauma. Aspen suffered from the 30-foot fall. Maybe there's something missing. Is there... We did examine this. Is there anything else to examine? To like show the truth? Perhaps no, I guess not. What about this? A knock grabber. 30 moments after he took his shot. This machine has a very distinctive handle. Violent fall, and he was stabbed in the chest with a sharp object. But we know this now. This doesn't contradict what you're saying. Photograph of the victim. Shit, man, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop wasting time then. I'm just gonna look at the walkthrough. Unfortunately. Okay. What she did to the victim. Oh, wait, what? 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 Wait, it was actually the other one? What? What? What?
Hold it!
What? Okay, I just like look at the thing, but I don't look at everything, you know, like I just don't want to spoil myself either, because that would be stupid. Another time, another cutscene, yes, let's switch it again. Whee! Okay. Okay, after all, yeah, switch it up. My bad, stalling a little bit, you know. Oh shit. Stood over the victim's corpse where it lay in the toppled cage, and Tom plunged the screwdriver into the chest. Then I present. Let me check this. But this is a part of Ace Attorney, like, what? But like, this is actually insane, like, because I'm looking at the picture, and like, this is it, like, actually, apparently it's what I'm supposed to present, but like, that's fucking ludicrous, because what I'm supposed to understand, like, literally right now, like, what's supposed to figure out, apparently, like, it's so fucking niche. Okay, let me show, hold on. I stood over the victim's corpse, where it lay in the toppled cage. I plunged the screwdriver into his chest, and then a photographic print of the victim taken after he had ostensibly been beamed to the crystal tower, which was an apparent stab wound to the chest. And the only thing that you should be picking up was because the blood was dripping downwards.
Objection!
That's actually like genuinely like ludicrous thing to need to figure out. Like, okay, sure. I mean, I guess I'm not a great detective to see something like this. I wonder if someone actually like managed to figure this out. Like actually. Yeah, you know, like, that's kind of insane. Like someone without the luck, like just randomly like presenting, but actually someone figured it out before presenting. You know, I wonder if there's like some people that actually did, at least like, you know, recorded. Anyway, I've got a nasty feeling that this inconsistency puts an extremely uncomfortable truth.
What on earth is the matter, Counsel?
Wait. I apologize, my lord. Dr. Scythe, in that last statement of yours, there's just one point that seems to defy explanation. Out with it, my learned friend. There's an obvious inconsistency between your description and this photograph, which shows the victim in the birdcage following the events that led to his death.
Objection!
The court has already examined this photograph in depth. There's nothing new we can learn from it. Yes, we have already considered it, that's true. But not from this angle. But now we look at the fact, but we know now the facts to be different. What do you mean?
Believe we should let the defense explain.
Where in this photograph would you see the alleged inconsistency?
Yeah, the stab wound, I suppose.
Take that!
Look closely at the bloodstain on the victim's chest. Glue extends in a downward direction towards the man's feet.
And why is that significant, Counsel? If the victim was stabbed moments before the kinesis machine was set in motion, that's entirely expected. Oh! Of course, no, that's not what happened!
Exactly, my lord. Dr. Scythe made it very clear in her testimony just now, at the point at which she stole Professor Harebrain's screwdriver and stabbed the victim. Was after the grand deception was set in motion and when the birdcage had fallen below the stage out of sight. From the shape of it, it's clear that the birdcage would have fallen on its side after the 30-foot drop. And if the victim had really been stabbed whilst inside the birdcage in that position. Wait. The blood from the wound would have spread out equally in all directions. For it to have formed the longitudinal appearance we see in the picture is inconceivable. Bro, she's dead like a face. Given that the victim's blood seeped vertically downwards from the wound, it must be the case that when you stabbed Mr. Assman, he was standing up. In short, Dr. Scythe, your latest testimony was a total fabrication! Okay. Okay, bro. Cook him! Put him on the roasting. I knew it. I was so right. We're so back. Now I have identified the contradiction. There's only one way to explain the facts. We've all been under a great misapprehension here. What? What sort of misapprehension? Dr. Scythe.
It's kind of cold in here.
You claim you were coerced into helping Mr. Drebber as a result of the note he left in the waxwork. You claim that you made changes to the scene of the crime to implicate the defendant. And you claim that you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. But one of those claims is an out-and-out lie! Because the question of what the bloodstain really tells us has the only one possible answer. If that is the case, what is it, man?
Counsel, you've clearly struck upon a revelation. Now tell the court what it is. Which part of Dr. Scythe's story is shown not to be a lie by the contradiction in her testimony?
Yeah. Also, this theme goes so fucking hard, bro. Wait, did I save? Did I save? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did save, okay. How she was coerced. The stabbing of the victim. This autopsy report. The theme, okay. The stabbing of the victim. How she was coerced. This the autopsy report. We know the autopsy report is bullshit. The stabbing of the victim. How she was coerced. I think it was she wanted to kill this guy. Dr. Scythe, clearly you weren't really coerced by some letter at all. What? If you were, where's the note? It's nowhere to be seen. That says maybe So why don't you present it to the court, if the assertion vexes you?
Obviously, I have already disposed of it, and I'm not vexed in the slightest.
So, did I remind you that it was you yourself who established the coercion?
Ah, wait.
Oh, oops, no, never mind. I didn't say anything, actually, no.
Okay. The stabbing of the victim. Yeah, sure. This is what I meant all along. Yeah. Answer is very simple. Consider the sequence of events. Yeah, she stabbed him before what actually happened. Like, she was the killer, not him. Which, on a technicality, it makes him innocent. You know? If, when the victim was stabbed, the blood from the wound seeped downwards as it did, we can be sure that the victim must have been either sitting or standing upright at the time.
But as you rightly pointed out, the birdcage would have fallen on its side when it... But as you rightly pointed out, the birdcage would have fallen on its side when it fell beneath the stage.
Yes, it would, which tells us the victim must have been in that position of his own accord.
Objection! That's impossible! The man was dead, remember?
No! That is the misapprehension! Yeah. He was still alive, just like all that time ago, in the 10-year ago case! When the birdcage fell from the stage to the... Oh, the fucking theme is like... Doing like a bridge, like silent bridge, like oh my, okay, hey, bro, everything is so fucking peak about this. When the birdcage fell from the stage into the void below, he must have hit the ground with considerable force. But he was trapped in though. Like, you know, he could have just stood up again. And she would like, quick, you know? But Mr. Asman didn't die in the fall. Was just a little discombobulated. He probably lost consciousness for a while, but when he came around, he got to his feet to climb out the cage. Just as Dr. Scythe appeared. The victim was in fact alive at that point in time. It changes everything. Like, sit back, bro. Yeah. What's wrong? We were clearing. Mr. Odie Asman's killer wasn't the defendant, Professor Albert Hairbrain. Nor was it the mastermind behind the stage trickery, Mr. Anagdreba. It was you, Dr. Courtney Scythe! Okay. Oh, this is so fucking cool.
Order! 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 Can this possibly be true?
Have you been taking me for a fool? It was you, was it? You killed him? Oh, her eyes like... wait, let me look at it again in the replay. I like her eyes like look so like mysterious. They look glass like glass-like. Anyway, yeah. So maybe... Oh, shit, this is so fucking cool. I don't know how to say this, but like... he was like addicted, like okay. I don't have the word. I'm too hyped to like make sense right now. But yeah. I see. You hoped that by admitting to being an accomplice in Mr. Drebber's scheme, the trial would end before you were accused of a far worse crime, cold-blooded murder. Oh, to shut up! You're so desperate now. You're making all this up as if I would do something like that. What? I assure you, the defense is not desperate, Doctor. Mr. Underwood has established the facts using evidence and logic alone. Logic? Make me laugh. Sadly, your logic has a gaping hole in it. What? What do you mean? I thought it was obvious. A motive, boy. You're lacking a motive. What possible reason would I have to kill Mr. Asman? Asman was involved in any murder of criminal activities, from coercion to theft to murder. But there is no known connection to Dr. Scythe there. Because he knew the truth, and she wanted to shut him up for good. Because he was like the reporter, right? You know?
I'm rather relieved to say it does seem somewhat far-fetched.
True, there's no obvious motive, but there's still something in the back of my mind. I feel sure I've seen something somewhere that hints at why the courier might have done this. Yes, I might have tampered with the crime scene and concocted a fake report, but murdering someone for no reason is a very different story.
Objection.
You're not getting out of this one, buddy. No, when you question what possible reason you could have for wanting to kill Asman, something did come to mind. What?
What was it, Counsel? Explain yourself at once.
Yes. We saw it yesterday, didn't we? Something that seemed strange, but we had no reason to suspect it at the time. This particular object explains why Dr. Scythe would have wanted to kill Mr. Assman. Let me save. Let me save. I need to marinate this in my brain. Because these are scalpels, the 500 scalpels. You know, that I said like because it was like, you know, to melt shit, you know, like to melt for materials, but like, why? Does it make sense? The scalpels, maybe. Let's present it for the shits and giggles. Come on. It's a scalpel, or rather, scalpels.
Did you say scalpels?
Okay. It would appear that word struck a chord, Doctor. You, come on, out with it! It was yesterday when we visited your laboratory. I mean, you know, the other ones made too little sense. Like the cask, like the iron helmet and the other thing, like, yeah. No, look at this big thick book here. Yeah, and when I predicted what exactly was gonna happen, okay, as it appears to have an accounting ledger. Yeah, I remember this very clearly. It was one of my top 10 cold moments. Okay, bro, come on, let's get the team. 500 cigarettes. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
500 scalpels a month?
At first, I wondered what on earth could you be using that many scalpels for? But actually, I realize now it's not the scalpels themselves that are significant. It's the money for them disappearing every month from the department's accounts.
Smith's criminal organization relied heavily on extortion for its funding, tracing the money from the forensics investigation team's account to find out where it was going. It would be extremely straightforward.
Okay. So she was a victim of... she was getting like... she was in the middle of a like money laundering scheme. She was like possibly blackmailed by some shit. Yeah, by the case 5 years, like that of 10 years ago, by Mr. Assman, in order to like, you know, with the 500 scalpels, was it was not for materials at all. It was just to get money. Like it never, like there's no actual shit for scalpels, it's just the money. Sure. Okay, then 10 years ago, when Mr. Assman was still a journalist and wrote this article about Mr. Drebber, he may well have stumbled upon information as he was researching the story. Information relating to Dr. Scythe's darkest secret that he would use to rack money from her for the next decade.
Her darkest secret? Good lord, you mean?
Yeah, she was starting to get blackmailed. I don't know what happened on the night of that execution, 10 years ago. But clearly the opportunity to rid yourself of that menace was too tempting to pass up. Okay. So in the end, you weren't coerced at all, were you? You did it entirely of your own free will. You stabbed Mr. Assman in the heart with all your might. To silence the blackmailer who knew your dark secret forever! You'll never understand. None of you. What we've had to keep covered up all these long years. I feel like a big weight got lifted off her chest. Because like this shit was like kind of insane. And I think probably Drebber, yeah, didn't want to kill him. Perhaps. And he just like wanted to do they wanted to get the grant money to do like his fake trick, and that was it. He didn't plan to kill him. As very little of the machine remains after it was ripped apart by the bomb. The truth of this case can never be properly established unless you speak out. And if you decide not to, it's very possible that Courtney Scythe will escape punishment for her crimes. Please, sir, own up to what you've done, and tell the court the truth about what happened. Come on, Drebber. My G. My bro. My robot.
10 years ago, you told the truth, and you were robbed of a bright and successful future as a result. I can certainly understand your bitterness and your consternation now, however... This surely the Surely the chance you've been waiting for, to sever the hold that fate's had over you all these years.
Nicely put. Super high voltage, instantaneous kinesis. I mean, really. It's the addle-brained mock scientists that are the worst, you know. They don't recognize the fact that they don't have talent. They can't even get that right. And so they end up chasing impossible dreams, having unbridled faith in their abilities. They go on and on about their wonderful hypotheses, their stupid eyes shining like a little child's. They make me sick. I can't abide their foolishness.
Careful, Mr. Draba.
I was particularly pleased with the kinesis machine. It made for quite a show, didn't it? Yeah. So you admit it. You admit that it was nothing more than a sham made for the purpose of killing the victim. Yes, I admit it. I did it all in the name of revenge. Savoring the victory right now, don't you? Revenge for the future that Mr. Asman's article deprived you of 10 years earlier. But the revenge you saw didn't stop at Asman, did it? Which is where that very particular waxwork comes in. Yes, I see.
The condemned convict you saw rising from the grave in Lowgate Cemetery 10 years ago. If your account of those events was all true.
Obviously, Scotland Yard couldn't afford to acknowledge what had happened. Even if it meant discrediting a bright young man and crushing any future career he might have had.
So your plan required that you abduct that particular waxwork model in order to exact your revenge on Scotland Yard as well. Or on Dr. Scythe, to be precise. True. This is so much more elaborate than I initially thought. Great case. It was a year ago. By some extraordinary twist of fate, Asman turned up at my workshop. He didn't remember who I was, of course. He just wanted to employ my services as an engineer. And he happened to have a paper with him. An article on the front page caught my eye. The coroner who'd handled the bogus autopsy being appointed head of a new forensic team. Yeah. And I learned that news. My cognitive processes started to devise the plan.
What a horrible tale.
He robbed me of my future, so I wanted to use the man's own wills against him for revenge, and have that rotten Scotland Yard eating at my hand at the same time. I wanted them all to suffer the same humiliation I'd had to suffer! Fair enough, fair enough. Your actions against those who'd ruin your future were justified as revenge, at least, to yourself. Certainly, no one has the right to destroy another's prospects, especially for purely selfish gain. And yet, in carrying out your plan, you did exactly what bad to someone else, didn't you? Did I? Yeah, Harebrain. Professor Harebrain's only crime was passion for his hypothesis, which had no compunction about sacrificing his future to effect your revenge. You knew that he would be forever branded a failure and a fraud. True, very true. Perhaps life treated you unfairly 10 years ago, and others' misconduct left your life in tatters. But remember this. Your own actions resulted in exactly the same thing for another perfectly innocent young man! Yeah. Damn. He's like, shit, he's right. Damn. This is so fucking good.
Dr. 6, what of Dr. Scythe? Dr. Scythe, okay, whatever. Immediate warrant for her arrest has been granted and she's been remanded in custody, my lord. I presume she will face trial in the coming days, along with Mr. Draba. A most regrettable situation indeed. She has made great contributions to her profession over the years, It really is a hard truth to swallow. However, that is a topic for some future occasion. For now, Professor Hairbrain,
Yes?
it seems there was a great deal more to your experiment than you realized. However, I think we can assume now that all the sordid details have been brought to light. This has been a very long and profound trial, but I'm pleased to say you are absolved of all guilt.
This whole experience has taught me a very great but painful lesson. This dedicated scientist, this devotee of natural philosophy. I've been selfish and self-centered and above all, a fool.
Professor?
I've spent my life thinking of nothing but my research, misguidedly believing that I could do whatever I set my mind to, despite my lack of talent. And the worst of it is, in the process I've caused others pain and misery. Others who are far, far greater people than I.
No, you're wrong. No, Professor, that's not true.
What?
Don't tear yourself with the same brush as Dreba. What happened was his doing and his alone. This outcome is his fate, not yours. You're not to blame in any way. Lord Van Zieks, and the derision with which he referred to you earlier, calling you a fool, talentless even. Man has no idea to believe in yourself and work your fingers to the bone to realize your dreams. That's laudable, not laughable.
He's just spitting straight facts, bro. This is...
My man, no one has the right to deride another for such choices.
Oh. Thank you, Barak.
Very true.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
Yes, my lord.
it is this court's expectation that you find the defendant not guilty of the charge of which he stands accused. I presume there are no objections. None from me, my lord.
Certainly not.
This trial has really made me think, but this is the right decision.
It's all been proven methodically and rigorously. I have no misgivings whatsoever.
Was that? He's done, is he? It's all over?
I don't know what's come of the yard these days. I don't recognize this place. Don't recognize the place.
Very well. In that case,
I hereby pronounce the defendant.
Jones. This shit was like a huge fucking case. A huge case. And I'm thinking like there's still 2 other cases. These cases, will they be as long and like as profound? Like this game has yet to be even peaker than it already has been.
Court is adjourned.
Yeah, I'm just in high anticipation of the rest of this shit. It's over. That was some trial. Yeah, it was, buddy. Okay. Epilogue. 24th of October, 4:33 p.m. Yeah, all Bailey.
Professor, what a splendid outcome, isn't it? Oh, it is! Congratulations, Professor Hairbrain! Mr. Naruhodo, Mr. Seto, I am truly beside myself with gratitude. How can I ever thank you enough?
I'm just glad it's all been cleared up. Give me the money. We are poor, and we need money. Alright? For our rent, please, buddy. Did he even pay us? I mean, I think we're just like public servants. Like, I don't think we actually even get money from anywhere. We just do this for the love of the game. I'm just glad it's all been cleared up. That you realize you were just caught up in a bad situation.
Ah! Right now, you know, if I had the research grant money, I'd give the whole lot to you, every penny.
Well, that's very kind, but I'm just a student, so...
We don't need any financial reward. You act quite well. It's more than enough. Oh dear. What can I do? Aha! How about this? As a memento, the paper about my hypothesis is inside.
Well, just as a memento then. Thank you.
I've been wondering, Professor, what are you going to do now? Oh my, yes, what am I going to do? My hypothesis and my great machine lie in ruins. But still, it's been too long since I was last in London, so perhaps I'll enjoy some sightseeing. I must explore the great exhibition whilst I'm here too, and see if new inspiration hits me. Oh yes, that's a wonderful idea.
I can't allow that. What? Whoa. Whoa.
No, I can't allow that. He needs to hang out with me. I miss my friend, and we will go at the restaurant together and have some coffee.
Is that what you're gonna say? Lord Van Zieks, what are you doing in here?
Barrack!
I'm sorry, you just had to go through that, Albert.
Well, if I'm honest, it was terrifying. You were like a great demon behind your bench there, snarling down on your prey.
You're one of the few true friends I have. I couldn't leave it to anybody else to handle the prosecution or the defense.
Hey! Hey! He just, man, he finally said it from his mouth. He said it. Fucking hell. Ryunosuke, wake the fuck up. He's your friend. You just don't know it yet. Oh, did I just hear that right?
I always knew you had my best interest at heart. Don't worry. How about you show me around while I'm here in town? It's been a long time since we left university. We have a lot to catch up on.
Listen, Albert. In a few days, your acquittal will be made official. When that happens, you must head straight to Dover. I'll accompany you.
What?
From there, you'll cross the channel and make your way back to Germany. I've already purchased the tickets.
But no! Hold on a minute, Barrack. What about the great exhibition? This is the chance of a lifetime for me.
No sightseeing, Albert. Give up on the idea.
Sometimes it's hard to see any warmth in those eyes, Barrack. Lord Van Zieks. What's all this about?
Necessary precaution.
Yes, I think I understand.
You do?
Well, Iris told me that when you met Lord Van Zieks at his office some days ago, he asked how Mr. Natsume was doing.
Yes, that's right.
We were being surprised at the time and think it was nice of him to ask. The point is, Mr. Natsume is still alive and well, even though it's been more than 6 months.
Okay, he's just trying to like make sure he doesn't die, you know, from the curse. I see. Maybe it's the government. Maybe it's Lord Strongheart that makes sure like the defendants that are against him die. To make sure to keep like the very useful myth of the Reaper of the Bailey alive and well. I see. Very smart.
Even though it's been more than 6 months now since the prosecutor stood trial with the Reaper as a prosecutor.
You mean the Reaper's influence doesn't stretch overseas?
Those in the Reaper's sights meet their ends days or sometimes months after the acquittal. Has been the pattern up to now.
But of course, we know that both Mr. Natsume and Gina were completely innocent.
Yeah.
True. Perhaps it governs the Reaper's actions. They're truly innocent and spared. But I don't want to take any chances with a close personal friend.
Fair enough.
Barrack?
Like the mustache Nipponese, this man should leave the country without delay. That's why I'm packing him off to Germany at once!
Right. Does your friendship package get any say in it? That was a very good, like, fucking rebuttal. Like your friendship package.
Goodness, was this your intention all along then, Lord Van Zieks?
In court, where people think of him as the Reaper, this man seems absolutely merciless, and yet, sometimes I feel as though I don't understand that at all.
It's time to go, Albert. Back to the prison for the time being.
Yes, alright. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you so much for everything!
Not at all, Professor. It was a pleasure getting to know you.
Best wishes, Professor Hairbrain.
Well, once it is settled, you must come and visit me in Germany. Okay.
Anyway, goodbye for now.
Okay.
Now, my Nipponese friend.
Does he actually mean the friend part, though? That's, you know, I think he does. Okay. Oh, yes, I thought you'd gone too.
We have matters to discuss. Can you spare me some time?
Private chat with him. Ooh. You want to talk with me?
I'll be waiting in the courtroom in 10 minutes.
Interesting. Well, that was strange. For some reason, I didn't get that sense of impending doom as he walked away this time. Are we gonna see it now? The Enigma, Barrack Van Zieks. What does he want to discuss, I wonder? The answer awaits in the courtroom, I suppose. Here goes then. Are we gonna see it? Are we gonna get a cutscene? 24th of October, 4:58 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh shit. Can we unmask him? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Let's unmask him!
So are you satisfied? You saved a guiltless scientist from a great injustice.
Yes, I think so. I'm relieved at least that the man's innocence could be proven.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, I imagine you've been wondering where my animosity towards you Nipponese comes.
He's gonna give us the lore! Okay, I need to take a piss. I need to be full focus for this. Hold on. My bad. I'm just gonna come back real quick. Okay, my bad. I'm back. Okay. Okay. Sorry for the wait, sorry for the stall. Okay.
I imagine you've been wondering where my animosity towards you Nipponese come from. Shh.
Well, at first I thought you just didn't like me. Fair. I imagine you saw me as a pretentious child from an important land who had no business being here. But now I think differently. Yeah.
Well, okay, he was kinda true with that first statement as well, but okay, we'll ignore that for that now.
For that time. You clearly know our ways. Yeah, so I would guess that some specific incident led to your thorough dislike of my race. Will you tell me what happened, please?
Professor,
Yeah, is he a Nipponese?
I'll never hear that name in this courtroom again, to be honest.
He took your brother's knife.
Clint. My brother was Clint Van Zieks. 16 years ago, when I was still just in my teens. He was already the director of prosecutions and a key member of the judiciary. I looked up to him. He was everything I aspired to be. He was involved in the establishment of justice systems in foreign countries as well. There were exchange programs between Britain and other nations then too, to share knowledge and ideas. As part of one of those programs, 3 judicial students came to Britain from your homeland, the Empire of Japan.
Oh, if it was 16 years ago, then one of them could have been my father.
Of course, I remember Dr. Mikotoba well.
I had no idea.
I was a minor at the time, training at the prosecutor's office. One day, Clint introduced me to the 3 visiting Nipponese.
So, is the professor the... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, obviously the professor is the killer of his thing, but I guess he was a Nipponese. I guess he was a Japanese man as well. So you've actually met my father.
He and his colleagues were polite and amicable. They were adept at their work and exacting in their standards. It was my first encounter with the Nipponese spirit, and it made a very good impression on me. But 6 years later, that's when it happened.
Investigation was going nowhere. There were no suspects even, just an ever-growing list of victims. And in the end, my brother became one of them. The last, in fact, before the case was finally resolved. I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zix. Truly. Clint was always ready to put his life on the line for justice anyway, so he wouldn't have wanted it any other way. He lost his life to the killer, but it was his victory in the end. For me, personally though, it was a great loss. I found myself in a very dark place indeed. When I finally found out the killer's identity, the reason why no one had been able to catch the man sooner ceased to be such a mystery. He'd been hiding in plain sight all the time. Yeah. Are you aware of political events 10 years ago? It was a period of extremely sensitive diplomacy between the British and Japanese empires. I think it is! A new treaty was being forged, I think. Correct, the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation was being concluded. The leaders of both countries were deep in extensive political discussions. Which is why this particular killer's appearance in court was conducted as a closed trial. The British public had known the identity of the killer. Not only would the treaty have been in jeopardy, but our two nations could very well have ended up at war. True. What? A war? Between Britain and Japan? But it would mean, oh my! You mean to say the professor was... Yeah, he is. As we figured right down, yeah. Wait.
When the trial reached its conclusion earlier, I thought to myself, yes, it's time.
That's his voice? Okay.
Time for you to come face to face with this hideous monster. I borrowed the key for the mask from the proprietress of the Waxwork Museum. So see for yourselves now. Confirm it with your own eyes. The truth that's been hidden this past decade.
That's the professor?
Yes, that's him.
Until now, the thought never even crossed my mind. That the mass murderer, whose crimes shook Britain as never before, was Japanese.
Wait a minute. That face.
Does you recognize
I
him?
feel as though I've seen it somewhere. It's strangely familiar.
Was it Asogi's father? He just got flashes from the past or some shit.
Father.
What? Father?
I just fucking called it, by the way. Holy shit!
Kazuma! My best friend, Kazuma Asogi. After a whole year, finally his memories returned. As he stood there before me, Ryunosuke. Hello again.
Yeah, the music, yeah. I think all his memories came back, or at least like most of them. Like, he remembers.
My friend.
Kazuma-sama!
Judicial Assistant Mikotoba.
I'm so happy they made it. I'm so happy they made it a cutscene.
It's been a very long road. Thank you. Thank you for guiding my friend here when I could not.
It was an honor.
I knew you wouldn't die that easily.
Me too. Me too. I knew when he died, I was like, surely he couldn't die. Even before I got even spoiled, I was like, surely that guy cannot die. You know, like he's too cool to die. You know, he had too much aura to die, and he's back.
I owe you thanks too, for taking good care of that in my absence.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah, you can take it back.
Kazuma, the great blade of the Asogi clan, passed down through the generations. When we left Japan, this sword was at my friend's side. A Japanese man's katana is his soul, and he couldn't be parted from it. But then, when the incident happened, it was Susato-san's wish that I inherit the sword. And I've kept it with me ever since, along with my memories of the friendship we shared. With this by my side, I always felt that you were watching over me somehow.
I've made it. At last. Father.
Are you saying... Surely not. You mean, you knew all this time? I'm looking at it. But I still can't believe it. This mass murderer is Kazuma's father.
Is Zeke's watching all of this? Oh, yes.
Kazuma-sama.
Ryunosuke, we have much to talk about.
We do.
But now is not the time. I'll be seeing you.
That's all Kazuma said. Before he turned and left us there, in the courtroom.
Oh, he was here. He was actually watching her. Bro, oh, this was fucking like insane. So here's the living after image of the man who took. Okay, his voice was kind of similar to what I was doing, but he had like it was like I'm faking it. His voice like is what I do, but like natural. Like, you know, his voice like naturally sounds like this kind of raspy thing going on, and also with the Englishness of it. I'm no English, so I cannot pretend like okay. So he's the living after image of the man who took my brother's life, is he? Yes, Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. 3 months ago, when Lord Strongheart introduced us, I had an inkling there was something there, some connection. But why did Lord Strongheart do that? Why did he make Kazuma Lord Van Zeek's apprentice? And when he was suffering amnesia too? Yeah, I think Strongheart is just like legitimately a fucking mastermind. He's like, we're all pawns in his fucking chess game. The man was apprehended, even executed. But his legacy just won't die. That's the sad truth. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I thank you for meeting with me as I asked.
10 years ago, my grandmother took me to the railway station. We were there to meet my father from the train. For me. It was the first time I'd ever seen him. Poor Sato-san, all this is tied up with painful memories for her too. She's never talked about this with me before though. It took time to adjust to having father around, but just when I was starting to get used to it, he called me into his study one day. He told me that a great friend of his had passed away in London. That the friend had left behind a son, a boy 7 years my senior. Father told me the boy had made a promise to his late father, so he was studying to become a defense lawyer. I wanted to help, so I studied to become a qualified judicial assistant. As I'm sure you've worked out, that young man's name was Kazuma Asogi. So you see, that's how he and I met.
For a brief moment, my great friend had returned, only to disappear again all too soon. But in that fleeting encounter, something stirred. Something that had been dormant for a long time. As if great wheels had been set in motion. I could almost hear them creaking into life. In some ways, it was the end of a chapter. But in many, it was the start of a new one.
Certainly. And okay, let me pick up my. Yep. Ay! Shit. Stub my toe. Save your current progress. Yeah, man, this was insane. Holy shit. Ah, this was so fucking peak. Twisted Karma and his last bow. Twisted Karma. Is Kazuma's gonna die again? Because his last bowing is something Japanese people do. And Twisted Karma. Maybe it's like a descended fate, you know, like the crimes of his father, like are falling down upon, you know, Kazuma despite him being innocent. Maybe that's why it's twisted, I don't know. I hope not, I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, man, this was like... Where would it go from here, you know? Like, because clearly there's like even a bigger game going on in the scenes. But we had the reveal, you know, of Kazuma and shit, and... I don't know, and like... I didn't expect the father thing, I didn't expect like... Even the whole sequence itself, like, it was like, legit like... Damn. Okay. I mean, this game is so good. Yeah, it's just so good. I'm glad I didn't stop playing it. I'm glad I didn't stop at the moments where it was kind of low, kind of slow. I'm gonna persist it because like this shit is genuinely so peak. Oh my god. It's gonna get better. That's the craziest part. It's gonna keep getting better. We still have 2 cases to solve. But yeah. Alright. Well, thank you for watching. It was a longer episode, which was, you know, yeah, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode. Tonight, I shall be doing the Undertale 10th anniversary live stream thing, like watching it, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. And I don't know if I'm gonna record it, actually. I think I'll just leave it like as is, you know, it's a thing with my friends and shit, you know, like everyone's gonna, you know, it's fine. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see, but yeah. Yeah, thank you, and smash like, subscribe, and like a boss, see you all you dudes in the next video, you know, it's Jacksepticeye, isn't it? Yeah, okay, bye.